Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be communist country.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway. Science is back. And I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated is doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
Epidemic? I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking. Kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Well, hello and welcome to our Friday night entertainment. We've got some stuff to talk about tonight, and I want to say hello to everybody. Jason's here, Mallory's here. Jason was here first, as you can see. Mallory and Michelle and Addie, and then down here I see Thomas Kersop. Thomas Kersop doesn't come around all the time. But I do have a story for him tonight that just happens to be from America's Hat, our friends up to the North, Canada. We will be covering that later on here in a little bit. Jason, I already said that. Omicidal's here, and Toasty's here, and even Kevin. Kevin is even in the chat room. So there's Kevin. So I hope everybody's ready. Because we're gonna have some fun. So. Let's just go ahead and get that grumpy old bastard with all the pointy fingers and the stack of books of telling everybody he doesn't like them and stuff. Let's go ahead and do that.
all of you beautiful people, and you too, Patrick.
Mallory is upset that I called Canada America's hat. She says that that's Green
Canada
Bay.
America's hat.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it is. It's the top of, it's the 51st state. It's the top. It's the America's hat. Have you never heard that before, Kevin? Where have you been?
Before? Well, I've been over here and there and everywhere.
You need to get out of that basement every once in a while.
Well, I found jugheads to be derogatory. Until then, I was invited into the jughead group, and since then, Canada is officially Canada. Unofficially, everyone there is a jughead. And
I actually do not want to associate. I don't want Canada. I mean, I make jokes.
Yeah,
but as long as Trudeau is in charge over there, I don't want to claim Canada yet. They get a good guy in there, somebody worth a damn, and maybe. Okay. There is a guy on there. There is a Canadian politician. I don't know what his title is, but he has tons. There are tons of humorous videos of him destroying our favorite Trudeau prime minister dude. His name is Pierre Poilievre or something like that. It's some French Canadian name, Pierre. But Pierre is funny to watch. He's funny.
May have seen. I don't know if I've seen him or not, and if I have.
Oh, he is almost as sarcastic as me. Almost.
You could give him some pointers.
Yeah,
and why wouldn't you?
He's quite sarcastic, and we love the sarcasm here. But so, what was your week like there, young man?
Well, Logan hasn't corrected me on anything in at least 24 hours.
Oh,
so I'm doing all right.
Maybe you're slacking off on your messing up.
He's the king of corrections. Where the hell? I don't know where it went. All right.
I did age 1 year last Sunday. I went to bed.
I know you did.
I was 51 and I woke up and I was 52.
Are you any better for it? No, probably not.
Same old. Grumpy old bastard.
Well, it's all downhill from 40, so.
I know. That's true.
You're well on your way.
That is true.
Hey, did everybody see Patrick's fucking hat? It's right there.
I still got the sticker on it and everything. Everybody keeps telling me to take the sticker off. No, this is
my dream.
This is how the cool kids wear their hats with the label still on.
In my dream of a perfect world, someday, somewhere, somehow, in YouTube land, we might never ever see another hat ad.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Thomas, I heard you were here.
Well, did you not? He's been making all sorts of snide comments in the chat room. I really like them.
I said he
called America Canada's jockstrap.
What does that make Mexico?
I would assume that America would be Canada's belly button ring, and Mexico would be the jockstrap. But
oh my god.
Or America could.
We're the midriff. Is that what we are?
Have you ever been to a strip club where they have to cover their?
I don't know what that is.
Their pointy bits on their breasticles. So it's not count. In some places, they're so old fashioned that a woman can be a stripper.
Yeah.
And as long as she covers her nipples, she can show the rest of her breast. It's just the nipples that can't be covered or they can't be shown. So they put little paste, what they call pasties. They put little like gemstones on their boobies.
So if Canada's the hat, and Florida's like the foot, and Mexico's whatever you said, then we're kind of like we're like the belly dancer. You're in the middle.
It could be the hips.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Addie is actually complimenting Canadian strip clubs. Apparently, they have some nice strip clubs up there. I'm getting a couple happy birthdays here from people. That's thank you. But
thank you for pretending you like Patrick.
Yeah, for the day, for one show, you guys can pretend like you like me. So
come on, let's go.
Immediately after last week's show, Kevin, my Twitter filled up, like literally filled up with people sharing this story.
Yeah.
And then you, I think you threw it in the group chat, and I thought it was quite humorous.
Yeah.
It's quite funny, Kevin. Funny.
What, that I threw it in our chat?
Well, the whole idea is that nicotine somehow
these fucking monkeys
magically transports itself through a plastic seal, and somehow is exposing people to nicotine particulates that are floating out through the plastic seals.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who of you are not familiar with this, but please do leave the show if you have to. Go read this and come on back.
I'm showing it on screen.
Or you can
Kevin,
pay attention.
I'm going to read some of it to them. Why would you send them out? You're defeating the entire purpose of having a show.
You're assuming they listen.
Well, some of them might. Some of them actually like you enough to follow your instructions.
Or you can listen to us.
Yeah. So, this is So, ETS is not necessarily caused by combustion or combusted cigarettes. What is ETS, Kevin? Do I have to go down here and look and see what ETS is?
Yeah,
environmental tobacco smoke. So the last word, the last word in the abbreviation, the S.
I'm ready.
The S is environmental tobacco smoke.
See if anybody recognizes this.
It is not necessarily caused by combustion. Well, they can't even. This was not read. This was not proofread, Kevin. It is not necessarily caused by combusted of cigarettes. Combusted.
No, of course.
This is already looking bad. This is already looking bad, Kevin. The indoor space size can affect the airborne nicotine concentration by diffusion. Okay, so that's actually a sign. That is a sound scientific principle. If you're in a very, very, very large space, and you throw stuff into the air, and it is equally distributed in that entire space, it will be very low in density.
Eventually, yes.
Yes. But if you're in a very small space and then you throw something into the air, it will be a much higher concentration. A high school physics student could understand this.
Farting in a Vega or farting in a Cadillac. There's two different desperate descriptions. Yeah.
So now it says airborne nicotine diffuses from packaged, unopened, and uncombusted cigarettes stored in cigarette racks at tobacco retailers.
That's right, you fucker.
Kevin, if you're too poor to go buy a pack of cigarettes, you don't have enough money to go buy a pack of cigarettes, all you have to do is go to a tobacco outlet where they have lots of cigarettes.
You can just ask for samples.
Stand near the counter and you will get your nicotine fix.
This ain't really that funny, but oh my god.
I'm over here making gestures, quantum nicotine physics here. I'm go stand near the counter of these cigarettes and just wave your hands like this, and you won't even have to smoke a cigarette. You can just do this.
It's like smelling a new baby. It really isn't going to do you any good, but if it makes you feel better.
So it says here now, visitors at smaller versus larger stores would be more likely to be exposed to nicotine diffused through the store, even at low concentrations. So if I go and stand inside of a small humidor, Kevin, where there are cigars all around me, it would be like I smoked all of those cigars, even though I was just standing in the middle of the room.
And this is why I got to keep muting myself. And this is why I can't take these fucktards seriously.
This is like nicotine through osmosis.
They didn't even mention brain worms. You know, this would have been more believable if you'd have developed brain worms from standing in a retail location than this.
So Thomas has coined the phrase quantum nicotine physics. So
That's
now
right.
we need one of our scientist guys.
Vocabulary.
Well, we actually have
Wikipedia.
a particle physicist in Mexico. What is his name?
Jeffrey?
No, he doesn't live in Mexico. He lives in Costa Rica.
I forget.
He's been on the show, Kevin. He wrote a paper about airborne droplets. And
hey, listen, you know what? Don't get pissy and mouthy with me. I've been in front of a nicotine stand all day.
Oh my God, Sussman could write. We need to get Sussman to write a book on quantum nicotine physics because he is a particle physicist. That is his bag. We should pass this on to him. I'm going to clip this and send it to him so he understands why he needs to write the book. Anyway, helpful measures may include mentioning the following points in the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. The observation that inadequately sealed cigarette packs lead to nicotine exposure from the products in Article 8, Protection from Exposure of Tobacco Smoke, or the proposal for complete sealing of tobacco products in the guidelines for implementation of Article 11, Packaging and Labeling of Tobacco. So he's saying that the little airtight cellophane packages are not sufficient. That somehow the nicotine is somehow reaching a speed of cellophane and somehow passing through that impermeable membrane.
Yeah. You know what? All the electronics come in now at Walmart, then you can't open them fucking things. That's what they want the cigarettes to be in.
Yeah, those hard plastic ones. You gotta. So I'm just gonna read the conclusion and not go through any of the other nonsense in this, Kevin. It says our findings indicate that packaged and unopened and uncombusted cigarettes in cigarette racks at tobacco retailers emits airborne nicotine, which is a previously unrecognized source of nicotine exposure. Kevin, this is like the gun control idiots trying to blame the guns that are completely locked up in the cabinet, somehow being threatening to other people.
It's never happened. Not here. Until the boating accident out back, I'd never had one shoot.
So somehow the guns that are locked up in my gun safe are a threat to the safety of other people.
Yeah.
The bullets
and
will
then
somehow
are you
make themselves transmute through the wall of the safe and into some unsuspecting person.
So in theory, in theory, I used to put, when I was younger, especially, I smoked them too fast as an adult. I'd put them in the freezer. I'd put my cigarettes in the freezer. So all my food.
Now all your food is now contaminated with nicotine particles.
Well, no wonder I'm a fucking addict.
Well, I have nicotine in the freezer right beside my foot. If I throw a sandwich in there, my sandwich will have nicotine in it.
Well, I've got nicotine in the fridge in glass bottles. I hope I'm safe. Jesus, because
now, Thomas,
hey,
Thomas, you absolutely do not need to.
We
apologize.
Encourage this.
We actually enjoy it. So
because
continue, my friend.
This is combustion, you sciencey fucking motherfuckers, and this is smoke.
You know, though, Kevin, I got a wellness check this evening from Jason.
You did?
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that I was okay.
I've never done that.
You know, he did a wellness check, and I appreciate the wellness check. However, he said, I'm gonna. You okay, bud?
Did you delay your answer for a little while just to?
I actually didn't. I didn't read my instant messages for like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I
love swivel matches, by the way.
I am okay, bud.
Well, we've all thought something was wrong with you at one point or another over the past few years. So I understand his question and concern. I appreciate it.
It's possible. Yeah.
So
he should have said it to you to make sure that he didn't have to be substitute you.
I don't read my messages either.
I know you don't.
I don't like the phone, and I don't like the being in, and I actually just turned off most of my fucking notifications finally. Janice showed me how. Pretty soon Logan will show me how to do
That's actually good that she can show you stuff.
It's comforting.
Yes.
It took her a minute, but she showed me.
So, Kevin, without any further ado.
Oh, I didn't know there was a do coming.
Adieu. I guess you guys say it like that. Adieu. Let's check on our brothers to the north. Let's see what this story about Canada is. It's the second story in the show notes. How convenient.
Thomas, I prefer your being disruptive. That's what I like.
It says vaping advocates slam Trudeau Liberals for living in a fantasy island.
Cue those clown music.
I like it. The plane. Oh no, that's.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
I love that show. Mr. Rourke, Ricardo Montalban.
God, we're the same age as he was when he was on TV.
It says right here, it says you can still access one more article for free. So the Western Standard is blocking me, yo. This is driving me crazy. I'm losing all throughout the years, Kevin. We have taken advantage of all of these wonderful news sites, and slowly but surely, I'm losing access to all of them.
Yeah, I can't.
Like the New York Times, I can't even go. I have a new secure browser that I'm going to start using next week. Hopefully, that will block all these advertisements. But it will also, it's supposed to change my VPN and all that stuff. So maybe then I will be able to continue to use access to those things. But right now I have one more free. These damn Canadians are so, money grubbers. They want me to subscribe to read their shit.
Oh, it's not just them.
Yeah. So vaping advocacy groups are pushing back against Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's liberal government for jacking up the tax on vaping and smoking. Advocates have expressed concern people who have given up smoking cigarettes by switching to vaping could abandon the less toxic alternative if it gets too expensive, and slammed the Trudeau Liberals. So they're not just regular liberals, they're Trudeau Liberals.
That's right.
I do need new glasses. Thank you, Steve. But I have to go to Canada because they're so expensive down here. My glasses cost like $800 because I have like trifocals and shit. Anyway, I have insurance, but if you get the Trudeau Liberals for putting its $1.5 billion pharmacare plan squarely on the shoulders of Canadians who vape and smoke. $1.5 billion. Wow. So they're taking money from a tax on cigarettes and vaping, and they're turning it around and buying drugs.
Yeah.
And not anti-smoking education.
Well, that sounds awfully familiar.
Or to pay for health care for people who smoke.
Which is, is bullshit. All right.
Yeah. This week, Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland proposed the federal budget, which included a 12% tax increase on vaping products and an extra $5.49 per carton of tobacco. I'm assuming that's carton of cigarettes. Carton. Well, yeah. Anyway, the Trudeau Liberals hope to gain another $1.7 billion from the tax hike. The Liberal government is living in a fantasy land that is banking on Canadians who vape to return to smoking, says Rights for Vapors in a statement. Its strategy to have tobacco and vapor products excised increases pay for pharmacare will fail. It unfairly puts the responsibility for paying for new drug plan program squarely on the shoulders of Canadians who vape and smoke. And it's a pipe dream. I like Fantasy Island better.
It is.
But the group spokesperson, and I never say Maria's name properly. Let's try to sound it out, Kevin.
Just say Maria.
Papa I annoy. Maria Papa I annoy. I'm probably saying it Hawaiian instead of Canadian. But anyway, if the federal government thinks that Canadians who vape and smoke will fund the new drug plan, I have a bridge to sell them. Wow. I like to buy bridges, Kevin. Noting Health Minister Mark Holland's comments from March that he plans to ban flavored vapor products, which Vape Rights for Vapors argues will cripple the legal market and turn over sales to the untaxed black market, Maria said, we have so many questions. Where will the revenue come from when Canadians who vape buy their product from criminals? How can they tax a product that will not exist after the Minister of Health bans flavors, unless they think all of us who vape will start smoking again? In addition, the planned 12% increase in excise on vapor products is completely disproportionate to the harm reduction potential these products offer. Why is the increase on excise on a carton of deadly cigarettes only 4%? The increase on excise for vaping is 3 times as much as cigarettes.
Why not? That's why.
Am I yelling too loud, Kevin? Am I adding enough drama and to the reading of this article?
I enjoy it louder.
Okay, just check. Increasing the price of vapor products will either drive Canadians who vape back to smoking, which will cost the healthcare system more, or to the black market. How does this benefit public health or government coffers? Maybe they think people who vape will just go back to smoking. The industry estimates that over 4 billion cigarettes will return to the market sold and taxed. That's where the money will come from. The budget is based on fairness, but only on the backs of those addicted. What? The budget is based on fairness, but only on the backs of those addicted to nicotine. Once again, further pushing marginalized people aside and taking away autonomy. Clearly, people who smoke don't matter. Kevin, do people that smoke matter?
To me and you? Yes.
To everyone. They should matter to everyone.
No, absolutely not.
Yes. Vaping can save lives, but it needs to be detached from smoking. It is not smoking. It is at least 95% less harmful than smoking, and millions of Canadians have chosen vaping to improve their lives. The Canadian Vaping Association, the CVA, said keeping vaping cheaper than smoking is an important incentive to keep people to help people to choose the less harmful product, and that adding more tax eliminates that incentive and pushes people who smoke for trying to end their addiction.
That's right.
It punishes people who smoke for trying to end their addiction to combustible tobacco and improve their health. CVA, in response to last year's tax implemented by the government of Quebec, said that these kinds of tax increases prioritize short-term financial gains over long-term improvements to public health and reductions in healthcare costs. Nicotine vaping is widely recognized as significantly less harmful than smoking, noted CVA, adding the Royal College of Physicians has said that for 7 years running, vaping is unlikely to exceed 5% of the harm from smoking. Hey, Kevin, speaking of the Royal College of Physicians, later on we have some stuff from them, brand new stuff, hot off the press. Yeah. It's there in the show notes. But don't jump ahead, Addie. Do not jump ahead.
Leave Addie alone.
I gotta pick on somebody. If vaping nicotine becomes more expensive than smoking, as some health organizations have advocated for, sales of cigarettes will increase and drive the rapidly expanding illicit vape market. The Canadian Lung Association citing 2018 data from the National Academies of Science and Studies found that aerosols emitted from e-cigarettes are substantially less complex than tobacco smoke. Interesting. Less complex. Should they have maybe chosen a different word than complex? I mean,
well,
they could have said less harmful.
Well, they could have.
Yeah. While warning of the health consequences of both products, the Canadian Lung Association said vaping could be a reasonable, non-permanent alternative to people who are trying to quit smoking. I don't know why they have to add that non right there. It should just be a permanent alternative. Yeah.
Narrative. Propaganda.
Why are you trying to tell people how to live?
Well, can they do that?
I know it's Canadian and they don't always enjoy the same freedoms that we do, but
I thought they were being nicer about it, though. Evidently not.
Well, no, they're actually being, kind of snide here by saying that it's okay as long as you quit that too.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how dare you tell me what to do? But again, the Canadians are so polite. They're not gonna they're not gonna talk back, except for Thomas.
Right.
I think Thomas is a talkbacker. Although toxic substances have been identified in electronic cigarettes, the amounts exposed to users under typical circumstances are less than those found in combustible tobacco smoke. Yes, orders of magnitude. That is the language that the very smart people, Dr. Farsalinos being one of them, likes to use. Orders of magnitude less or lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. When considered in the context of a harm reduction strategy, switching to e-cigarettes, again, they're telling people what to do here, in the short term, may be a less harmful alternative than continuing smoking for an individual. However, this statement needs to be tempered by the fact that the harms continue to evolve and have not been fully evaluated to date. We just don't know, Kevin.
I don't know either.
We just don't know. We need more long-term studies.
Here's what I know. Here's what I know about my friends in Canada. We knew a guy. I've spoken with him. I'm pretty damn sure you did too.
We had him on the Vaping Militia radio show back in the
Ray,
day, and the Sunday Vaping Militia video show.
All I should have to say is Ray, and everyone else will know exactly what I'm speaking of. However, just in case you don't know Ray, he went, 10 or 12 years longer than he was predicted?
Yes, and then the government of Nova Scotia tried to smother him by taking
tried to kill him. Yeah. So
don't think we forgot that shit.
Oh,
never. If I ever step foot in Nova Scotia, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah. It doesn't say, Thomas, it doesn't say may, could, or might in there. I'm confused.
He's got to learn some tobacco control language.
Neither can I. So when they say they don't know enough, I'm guessing. I think Ray and Dave were right in line of the first couple of people I ever spoke to about vaping with that Zoom thing, which I wasn't liking either.
Okay, so I'm not going to read. I'm going to skip some stuff here, but it says here, Dr. Cynthia Callard of Physicians for Smoke-Free Canada told the Western Standard the Trudeau Liberals' new tax plan works out to about 24 cents more per 2,000 puffs. It's an increase to the excise tax, which is a minute difference when it comes to the actual product. So now, Kevin, they're just wanting to tax every puff.
Well, then, by that measure, you should tax for every sip.
They're just gonna. I don't want to insult any Mounties, but they wear really high boots in their uniform. Those guys in the red with the hat and they have
seen them,
really tall leather boots. You know who used to wear really tall black leather boots?
Joan Jett.
No.
Oh,
their uniforms were designed by a really fancy clothing designer, and they had this red thing that they wore on their sleeves with a little black symbol on it.
There was like an insignia, some kind of hand gesture, and okay.
Not again, not saying that the Mounties would be the ones, but I can just see the
reference and
I can see the goose step.
Yeah.
They always get their man, is what they say. You know?
Tyranny's easily, concealed.
Yeah.
Or blatantly, as in this case.
If you're in a country that is not used to having all the free, I mean, they literally have most of the same freedoms as we do. I mean,
yeah.
But they're way more polite, and they accept certain things, I guess, more easily than we do, except for those trucker dudes. Those trucker dudes, they hold protests all the time. But I would hate to see our friends up north fall to this bullshit.
Weed's already legal up there. Wow. I can't keep track, Thomas. Yeah.
Thomas says that weed is legal, and apparently, according to Addie, they have nicer strip clubs. So they got nicer strip clubs and legal pot. But in some states we have legal pot, just not in Texas.
Right.
But we have constitutional carry, so everybody can walk around with a gun.
As do we.
That's a fair trade.
Took a long fucking time, but we got it.
No, it really pisses me off, Kevin, because I went through a lot of hard shit to get my concealed carry permit, and now everybody can do it.
Well, let's rephrase. I'm assuming Texas as well. We had open carry.
No, we have conceal. Anybody can conceal now.
No, shush. Calm the fuck down. Before the concealed carry in Ohio, we had prudent man law, meaning if you were in the course of your own business, for instance, hint, hint, cab driver, self-employed, you could carry your weapon. Concealed. Other than that, that's what it was called. I don't give a fuck what you think. That's what it was called. Then it became a carry concealed license, which I don't care for either. You could always, forever and ever, always, like probably, I'm assuming in Texas, carry openly, legally. All along. Didn't matter.
Yes.
You still can.
But now anybody can hide it. And I went through a lot of trouble to earn the privilege of hiding my gun.
But now it's constitutional carry, and I don't like that term at all. You shouldn't have to fucking have a license to do a fucking thing about
it says
carrying
shall not be infringed,
That's all I'm thinking. I don't know. I could be wrong. We're going to scare our friends.
I know our Kiwis and our Aussies are like, they're over there shaking, talking about guns. Yeah. Every time.
It's a choice, folks. It's a choice.
Yeah. But here, Kevin, I want you to stay informed about teen vaping. Here, let's watch this video.
Oh, thank God! I was concerned about it all week.
Yeah. Let's stay informed about teen vaping.
E-cigarette use remains a public health threat among youth and young adults, with more than 2.1 million middle and high schoolers currently using e-cigarettes. So what can be done to address this issue? Joining us to discuss the youth e-cigarette public health threat, including details on the growing problem of youth cannabis vaping, as well as an innovative, free digital curriculum with resources to help young people cultivate.
See, now they're afraid of youth cannabis vaping, Kevin.
Well,
Thomas just brought up weed, and now it's
I'm all for that, Thomas. We should send them all to Canada.
Know the Truth is Amy Taylor, Chief of Community Engagement at
there's
Truth
that
Initiative.
chick.
Thank you.
We've seen her many times before.
Is that my girl? I gotta blow you up. I can't tell. Yeah, that's her. That's her.
Oh, well. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I bet you in the next couple days we're going to see a buttload of stay informed about teen vaping videos from local news channels with this same video clip. I bet you.
Yeah. 30 times.
Thanks for having me.
It's 30.
Amy, how did we get to this point where we now have a national youth vaping public health threat? And why is it so?
You notice?
Oh, pick me!
you notice they didn't use a certain word now. Now it's a youth vaping public health threat.
Well,
instead of a other word.
Important that we address this with our young people.
This is such an important issue, and I appreciate the chance to talk about this with you today. You said it at the beginning, more than 2.1 million high school and middle school students are vaping. And what we know of those young people who are vaping, many of them are vaping regularly, which shows signs of addiction. And it's really no surprise how we got here. The vape companies create these products in kid-friendly flavors.
Kid-friendly flavors, Kevin. So last week for my birthday, you see my e-liquid is activating the green screen.
Yeah. Is it zombie like?
I took a a moment the other day. Here, let me just for a moment here turn off my virtual background so that you guys can see the tint of my green e-liquid for my birthday.
It's like that alcohol that I don't know about. I can't remember the name of.
Absinthe. That's absinthe. The absinthe flavor e-liquid.
Well, how the hell did I know that? Hey, I got a question while you're disrupting everything. Where's Kathy? How come Kathy ain't on there?
Well, nobody likes Kathy.
Yeah, I loved her. I thought she was wonderful.
Yeah. So anyway, I sent a picture of I had it in the magnetic stirrer, and I took a picture and sent it to Jason.
Yeah, the thingy bobber.
And Jason's like, "Why is it green? Why is it green?"
Radiator fluid.
No, it is not. No, there is actually a liquid called radiator fluid.
What?
There is a liquid called radiator fluid by Mad Murdoch.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
And it's even greener than my green. I prefer mine over his any day.
Well, there you go.
His tasted like NyQuil.
To each his own. No. Yeah, I like Kathy. I want Kathy up front so I can pick at her and fucking.
Yeah. I would invite Kathy to come on the show anytime, but she won't.
Why don't you? Have you?
She won't. She's afraid.
You still don't have Ruth. You don't have Simon.
Cherry, and they include very high levels of nicotine. So that young person who may be experimenting with vaping can become addicted fairly easily. And so this
fairly easily, Kevin.
Become.
Yeah, I need to reach out to my replay crew people. I need another one of these.
You can become addicted over time. I still haven't heard what the dangers are of nicotine. Nobody will tell me.
They're addictive, Kevin. It's like, water. We're addicted to water, but
for instance, Patrick, if
you could drown in that.
If at my age I get on a skateboard, that means it could be dangerous. I could, crack my fucking skull. There's a serious consequence to it. Becoming possibly addicted to something isn't a danger, in my opinion. That's all. Because I'm more addicted to my caffeine, and of course you, than I ever was my nicotine. And I like my nicotine. So.
No, I'm not. I enjoy my nicotine. There's definitely, that is 100% factual. 100% factual. But let's continue.
This is an incredible problem. With cannabis, we are also seeing an increase in the number of young people using the product. In fact, over the last 2 decades,
we should go right now. Since we have a youth cannabis public health crisis, because they're not using that E word. We have to immediately ban those products in all 50 states. Because kids.
Jerry knew about this. He said 1/3 of those children were vaping cannabis. He knew in his position, and he didn't do a fucking thing about it. So that's partially why we're here, to the idiot that asked the question earlier.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I guess we're going to have to start an entire new campaign, Vapors Against Pot.
Good night, Thomas.
Night.
We scared him off.
I know. Well, we already finished the Canadian portion of the show.
That's
so
true. That's true. Never an afterthought.
Let us continue.
We've seen almost a 250% increase. And I know I hear this from my kids all the time, is that young people think that cannabis is not harmful, and in fact it's helpful, when in fact it's not.
It's not, Kevin. All those people that are using cannabis because they got the glaucoma or the cancer or any of those other things that are seeing positive benefits of the cannabis, the pot. It's not really helpful at all. It's not helpful to any of those kids that are using low THC CBD products and low THC cannabis products to get rid of their seizures and their problems that are occurring. None of those things are beneficial. Okay.
Because young people still have a developing brain, they are susceptible to the negative impacts of cannabis and nicotine and can negatively affect their mental and physical health.
You are full of shit. What's her name, Tracy?
We actually have video right here. I'm just gonna play.
I have their own PDF file.
I have video right here, Kevin. We're gonna play a stinger, right? We're gonna play a 1 minute and 21 second stinger right in the middle.
Is it
of
her
the show.
boss, my girl? Is it Kathy?
No. This is Dr. Charles Gardner.
But, then you've got people on the other side saying, well, but experts disagree, which is a kind of typical merchants of doubt tactic. And the same will be said for nicotine benefits in Tourette's syndrome, ADHD, autism, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, a lot of research is looking at cross-sectional studies that find associations and trying to claim that nicotine causes those things.
They want to
when all logic says that people with those things are using nicotine because it helps them, but so we're going to face that. But I mean, one of the ways to deal with this is to get people to tell their personal stories. I should be the last one to ask anyone to do that. Why? Because an adult living with ADHD is already stigmatized.
And that's what, 3 years ago?
Yes. Yeah. It's like we invite people onto the show that somehow can read the future. Because we were talking about the beneficial properties of nicotine and neurodiversity, and oh my God, now they're saying that all the things that people are using nicotine to cope with are actually caused by the nicotine. You see the whole shell game. You see that, Kevin?
And now they're adding in to confuse people more or to gaslight them more. Now they're adding in cannabis.
Yeah. Because it's going to harm that developing brain, Kevin.
Well, I'm really concerned about the kids developing brains who are going to end up in tobacco control, because
I have said repeatedly on this show that I am not a big fan of nicotine of cannabis, because in the past when I tried it, it really didn't do anything for me. It wasn't I didn't enjoy it like everybody else did. Right. But I'm sure that, when you were like 8 or 9, you probably tried it and it, you enjoyed it.
I'm not even going to tell you how old I was for smoking pot. You got 9 for the cigarettes. You ain't getting the pot. Fuck you. Plus, it's a lot more enjoyable when you do it.
Resources are available to
roll the footage.
Educate those young people about the dangers of not just vaping nicotine, but as you said, vaping cannabis. and to help those who are already using quit.
Well, we knew that when we saw this public health threat, that we needed to get information in the hands of young people, and to get it in their hands in the place where they're vaping, which is in the schools. And so we decided to create a free school-based digital curriculum called Vaping Know the Truth. We've already educated more than 1 million young people.
Okay, so now they're claiming that they have educated 1 million young people.
Yeah. Well.
So that means that in the entire country of the, America,
yeah,
that they've showed this short 3-minute video to 1 million kids.
And it's a miracle. It's a fucking miracle.
And none of those kids will ever, no kid that's ever seen this video from the truth.
Yeah.
The truth, Kevin, will ever take up vaping or smoking because they saw this video.
Well, let me ask you a question to counter that point, Mr. Patrick. If their brains are still developing, how can we be so sure that they've learned? Huh? What do you think of that, Zippy? So
you might have made a point. Maybe.
Mallory, I saw that.
With this curriculum, and it really goes into it talks about how the vape companies marketed specifically to young people and got them addicted. It talks about how what they think that they are going to make them feel better
Where's my pause
may
button?
actually make.
Where's my pause button? Let's
brainwashing is hard.
Bullshit video here, Kevin. So they're showing clips, I guess, of a survey on a website.
Anecdotal? Oh, goody.
Okay, so it says, how do you feel about vaping? Vaping isn't for me. I occasionally borrow my friends' vapes, but I don't own one. I love vaping.
There's not leading
what have
questions
you seen
and
or
answers,
been
is there?
exposed to about vaping? So what have you seen or been exposed to about vaping? So it's asking about content that you absorb. They're asking, what have you seen or been exposed to? I have seen people vape, but it's not for me. I vape 24/7, 365 days a year.
Those aren't leading questions and answers, are they?
I vape 365. Kevin, they're saying that nobody, this vapor, this fictional person, never sleeps.
Well, they got to keep up with the kids' lingo.
They vape constantly and apparently never eat or sleep or
no.
What other things that teen people do? Play video games.
Except when I'm pissing.
Well, I can vape and piss at the same time.
Except when I'm at the tobacco store, just sniffing the fucking packs.
Absorbing my vape through osmosis.
Talks about how what they think that they are going to make them feel better.
That's brainwashing.
May actually make them feel worse. We also provide.
Now, did you hear the may? Let's go back again.
Yes.
That they are going to make them feel better may actually make them feel worse.
May. See, they're using that.
We also provide a way for young people who are vaping to quit through our free text-based.
Oh, yeah. I stopped vaping and smoking and everything because I put an app on my phone and they text me inspirational quotes periodically to
incessantly. Are you vaping?
Now I'm no longer vaping, but I'm addicted to the dopamine rush from getting a pat on the back every time the app says "good for you."
You make me feel better.
Yeah.
Program called This Is Quitting, and getting this information in the hands of young people is really helping them to make informed, healthy decisions.
And you don't just help the young people, but also their parents as well. So how do you recommend parents approach their teens to get them to stop vaping?
Parents are such a crucial, important part of this.
So Jason's going to be one of those dads that walks down the hallway and knocks on the bathroom door.
Yeah.
Are you vaping in there? No, Dad.
I did with two boys. My question was always, "What the fuck are you doing? Get out of the bathroom so I can take a piss." That was it. I didn't care what they were doing.
Are you jacking off in there?
I was an evil parent. No, that was always in the bedrooms. I'm sure. I didn't like them anyway, and I just said, "Get the fuck out of the bathroom." Hurry up!
Quit diddling and get out the door. Get out of there.
No diddling on my
public
time.
Threat. And we provide resources on our website to help parents have these conversations with young people in a supportive, non-judgmental way.
Of course.
Hey, Patrick, you think her tall black boots make her ass look big? I don't know for sure. They may.
Here, I don't know. I got to see something here.
Because they sure make her lies look big. You got to see something.
Well, this woman here reminds me of a character on a TV show, and I need an opinion. Let me open a picture here.
You know, when you use the words children and for in any form, you automatically make me think you're brainwashing them.
Yeah. Here,
and in turn, you're brainwashing everybody else.
Give me. I gotta.
I'm biased.
I gotta rub this. Rub. Oh, that's a really low quality picture. Let me go find a higher quality version. I want a better. Oh, here. Let me open this one.
James.
Yeah. So, now does that woman that's currently on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does she in any way, shape, or form? I have to stop here. Let me present this. I can't figure out how to do it side by side. But here, let me show you this one. Does this woman look anything like this woman?
Resembles, yeah. I don't know who that is either.
She's an actress, but she plays on the TV show Lucifer.
Never heard of it.
You never seen Lucifer?
I've never seen Lucifer.
It's a TV show.
Like, all right.
But I mean,
I didn't know the Connors were on until like a month ago when it was on Netflix, and Janice is watching it, and I was like, "Well, when did that start?" She said like 2018 or whenever the fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, well, when they brought it back, it was Roseanne.
Well, I remember
they brought
that.
Roseanne back, and then
canceled.
She made some comments comparing a politician to the Planet of the Apes or something, and
comedians are no longer allowed to be funny.
Losing her show because of that. That was her show. I still think she probably probably gets paid for the show, but she can't be on the show anymore.
Right.
Because it's her show. Like all the characters on that show were characters that she created for the TV show. But anyway.
So we have tools to help young people have a conversation with their kids about this.
Waterboards.
We also encourage every parent across the country to call their school to see if they are providing this curriculum called Vaping Know the Truth, because we know that it's proven to be effective. We've already educated more than 1 million students, and we know that it's working. So if you go to
Patrick,
Truth Initiative,
if this is working so well, why haven't they just ended all?
Well, it downgraded from the E word to now it is a public health concern.
Well, I think in the past year or so, they've taken so much shit that they've had to change their narrative to some extent. I don't know. But either way, they're still fucking wrong, and I still don't fucking like it.
Yeah.
initiative.org/curriculum, you can get more information.
Thank you so much for this crucial information, Amy. And as you said, just visit the website to learn more about vaping. Know the truth.
Where is this? Chicago? Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Is that Cleveland?
That's your state, Kevin.
Yeah. James is closer to Cleveland than I am. I'm in Dayton.
I haven't seen hide nor tail, nothing from that boy in a long time.
He's all right. He's doing his thing. He'll be all right.
Haven't seen
He's
hide
paying
nor
attention.
hair of him.
He's paying attention. He knows stuff.
I thought he might have retired.
No. It does wear on you though, doesn't it?
It has. It has.
It has me.
Where's our Costa Rican friend, Jeffrey? Jeffrey's not here,
Big
Kevin?
B? Ed's not here. Brittany's not here.
Say Jeffrey. Let's see if we can get him in here. Jeffrey.
I see Misha.
Because Kevin.
Yes, yes, they are quiet.
There is a vaping surge in Costa Rica, and it is alarming health authorities in Costa Rica.
Michael's, yeah.
Where do they have to go find this like hipster Costa Rican guy to be in the picture?
Is that Woodstock?
It looks like he's wearing suspenders and has a backpack on. That is definitely a hipster dude with this hat.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeffrey. You got to get rid of these hipsters. Anyway, it says the Costa Rican Social Security Fund reports an alarming increase in health disorders associated with vaping, according to official data. Registered cases in the country increased from 13 in 2021 to 1,456 in 2023, Kevin.
Huh.
That's vaping, health disorders associated with vaping.
I've got a couple.
Vaping is not a safe activity and is generating more and more health problems, warned Dr. Marnie Ramos, coordinator of the Commission for the Implementation of the CCSS Cessation Clinics. Commission for the Implementation of the CCSS Cessation. Okay. Specialists point out that vaping affects especially adolescents and young adults who practice it more frequently. Dr. Ramos pointed out that it's the younger people who are reporting this higher consumption, both in men and women. In addition to respiratory diseases, vaping also increases the risk of chronic non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, cancer, and carbohydrate intolerance. What?
STDs, all kinds of stuff, yeah.
What the hell is carbohydrate intolerance? I got to look this up. I work in the healthcare world, and I've never heard of this. Let me read what this says. Carbohydrate intolerance is the inability to digest certain carbohydrates due to the lack of intestinal enzymes. So what, like celiac disease? So what are you claiming?
I don't know. They can say what they want.
Claiming?
They can say whatever they want. There's nobody that cares. Nobody in authority is correcting anybody in an authority.
I have never heard anybody claim this.
Well,
it's increasing lactose intolerance and celiac disease and making people allergic to gluten, which is a bullshit disease. I don't care what anybody says. It's
nobody
just
talks
trendy
about
to
my
say
third year.
They have to go non-gluten. That's BS. Only people that have there is no medically observed gluten sensitivity other than celiac disease. That's just made up shit because people want to be cool. It's like suddenly all these people claiming to be on the spectrum, Kevin. It's now cool to be autistic. It's now cool to claim that you're on the spectrum.
Is it?
Yes,
unless you are, it is.
Okay. Yes,
I didn't know that. I had no idea what the cool kids were doing.
All these cool cats want to be cool. They want to be gender fluid and autistic or something. You know, that's the new
Michael
thing.
sniffing cigarette packs in the basement, Michelle. That's what it is. You got it.
This is going to increase early deaths in ages ranging from 30 to 70, Dr. Ramos warned. The specialist also denied that vaping was an effective method for those who are trying to quit smoking. The illusion that vaping can help quit smoking is false. In fact, the data shows that people who vape end up smoking and vaping as well, the doctor added. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Where is Jeffrey? Jeffrey, you need to take care of this guy. She also stressed that vaping, or gal, I'm sorry. I thought that was a guy's name.
I don't know.
Go back up here. Marnie. I guess Marnie is a girl name. Okay. It's hard to tell these days, Kevin. Yeah. She also stressed that vaping can become the gateway to conventional tobacco use as it generates nicotine addiction. From 2022 to 2023, the number of people with tobacco-related disorders almost doubled. All right, we got to take a minute here, Kevin.
Do we?
We got to take a minute here. Let me go over here to X for a minute. I got to go to X. I got to go to X over here.
Oh. Valerie. She's in the attic. Oh. What are you doing?
I'm looking this woman up.
What? Look up the article. See if she's tweeted it.
Well, I found her.
That's how I... Oh, you found her? Good.
She's following 30 people, and she has 11 followers, Kevin.
Oh, thank goodness. That's just, clearly she's working instead of fucking around on Twitter.
I was gonna, but I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna?
But Costa Rica is small. Costa Rica is a small country. Our friend Jeffrey could go and have a one-on-one chat with her to help her some science. Not suggesting
clearly there's no science.
A sound, a nice conversation. That's all I'm saying, Jeffrey.
If this were based on science, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back down here. The UK's tobacco ban, and they spelled tobacco with 2 B's. Look at that. But down here they spell it properly with 2 C, with 1 B and 2 C's.
Well,
other nations such as the UK have worked towards the prohibition of tobacco. Under the new law, people born in 2009 and after will never be able to legally purchase such products. It will save more lives than any other decision we could make, said British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. We're going to have some. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. Anyway, if enacted, this would become the toughest anti-tobacco law. A similar plan was due to come into force in New Zealand. It was proposed by Prime Minister Jacinda. We already talked about Jacinda when Dr. Glover was on last week, but reversed by the new government because they were not stupid like Jacinda. Anyway, while Costa Rica has passed anti-smoking laws and in general has done a good job educating people on the risks of smoking, new challenges arise with younger generations who are opposed to new and attractive tobacco products.
Yeah.
All right. Now I gotta cut and paste this. I'm gonna copy this link. Now I gotta go over here to Twitter, and where's my create a new tweet? And I'm just gonna this is all I'm gonna write in here.
Jeffrey.
Seriously. Jeffrey.
It's a clusterfuck.
Come on, Jeffrey.
That's what it is.
Come on. There you are. Jeffrey Zamora. Period. You need to have a chat with this person.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to get rid of all this stuff over here. There's a lot of nonsense on the extra characters on this article's address.
Well, of course.
Jeffrey.
Do you follow Grove Mitchell, by the way?
Who? What? How?
Grove Mitchell.
Who?
Grove Mitchell.
I don't know.
Is this?
I don't know.
Is this on? All right. Well, I might link you something next week.
There
Poor Jeffrey. He has no idea what's coming. He's probably already talked to her.
Jeffrey. This is very embarrassing, Jeffrey. There we go. I just tweeted at Jeffrey.
Not his fault. It's like you're blaming
It is.
him.
It's his responsibility to take care of the whole country of Costa Rica.
Is it?
Yes. The whole country. Like, I'm supposed to be responsible for all of the Americas.
Are you?
No.
Have you talked to the girl over at Truth yet?
I'm quite irresponsible. I have probably tweeted at that stupid chick a bunch of times.
Well, she'd quit wearing them boots. Her brain wouldn't be so fat.
Rumble is already like adding advertisements to my article or to my show.
Okay.
I should be getting more ad revenue. Now, you guys, if you see a commercial at the beginning of our recordings, if you're watching them on Rumble, do not skip the commercial. At least watch the whole thing. So I get full credit for that, because I could make a couple pennies. You know, we have one subscriber over on the Rumble, Kevin. We get paid $5 a month, and
I like
they
that.
haven't canceled their subscription yet.
Well, we must be making it worthwhile.
Apparently,
certainly hope so.
Yeah. This chick again. Oh, let me get through the commercial over here, Kevin. There's a commercial.
Are you skipping it?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I? Why would I add revenue
have to skip your commercial?
Well, these are asshole people. This is the Sun. They're a very rich news agency over here. Let's watch this. Let's watch this. See, it's Raj. Raj is giving us $5. None of you other people are giving us $5, but Raj is giving us $5. Thank you, Raj.
Vaping has been increasingly popular in the UK, and even the NHS is encouraging people to make the switch over smoking. But some experts have warned that the branding of these products could be damaging when it comes to the health and well-being of children. And you can see from these products why kids might be enticed. With their brightly coloured packaging.
Now, I will say I find the one in the middle offensive, Kevin.
I find it idiotic.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the one on the outside and the one on the other side, I may not like those products, but I don't. At least the one in the middle is an outright crime. Like this is trademark theft. This is bullshit.
Exactly, it is.
So I'm not a big fan of this type of behavior.
I thought we were long beyond that, but we're not.
No, we're not, Kevin. They're still idiots.
Packages and nod to popular sweet brands, it's no wonder why parents have been urged.
And I've seen this stock footage of this chubby kid vaping.
That's FDA.
A bunch of times.
I think that's FDA.
Well, it says Getty, so it's a purchase of stock footage right there in the upper left hand corner.
Fucking idiot.
Should be extra vigilant with their kids. The worrying truth is If children get hold of these liquids, then it could lead to dire consequences.
Right.
New research conducted at Broughton Life Sciences found that...
Now, clean your fucking cotton and coil. Come on now.
25 out of 28 vape products tested were not legally compliant in the UK. More than a fifth of products also contain the banned substance diacetyl, which is known to cause popcorn lung, an obstructive disease of the small airways.
Now, have you noticed this whole article is going to be, they're showing like disposable products, the illegal disposable products that probably do contain diacetyl or diacetyl, but they're showing intermixed in there dripping, which I haven't seen anybody using a dripping atomizer in a long time.
Initially, this term wasn't related to vapes. In fact, it came from a group of popcorn factory workers who developed lung disease. But it all comes back to diacetyl. In the UK, diacetyl was banned in e-cigarette liquids in 2016, so e-liquids sold in the UK shouldn't contain it. The research, in collaboration with JTI, also found that nearly 80% of these products tested use volumes of e-liquid higher than the 2 millilitres currently allowed under the current legislation. And more than 10% of the products contained over 20 milligrams of nicotine allowance.
Oh no.
Despite this, vaping is still on the rise, and while it might be an alternative to smoking in the short term, better regulations are needed to protect the health and well-being of vulnerable children.
I thought that's what laws were for.
Holy crap, that commercial's loud.
And fast.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that button. So
Mallory and Raj used RDAs. There you go.
I don't see them though.
Yeah, I don't.
So I haven't seen anybody. So anyway, that bullshit story was attached to this article here that says kids hooked on vapes should be given nicotine pouches, not told off, says report.
That's
and how vaping is affecting youngsters' health from coughs and shakes to cravings and lack of concentration in school.
Yeah, that's what happened. I predicted this a long time ago. I questioned it, in fact. Why aren't we giving these kids cat badges and gums? They're easily concealable. Who's going to care?
Yeah, and they come in flavors.
And they work so well.
Yeah.
If it's really the nicotine, this should be, duh.
See, now we're getting advertisements for a book scanner.
Yeah.
Because I just bought one. It's right here.
It's spring, Patrick. Find a lawnmower, will you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Flavored patches.
Oh, but there's the hats. The hats are back now. Okay. A public health Wells report on the rapid rise of youth vaping said support should be prioritized over punishment, while calling for sweet flavored disposable vapes to be banned. There's a picture of a very small nicotine pouch, Kevin. Youngsters hooked to vaping should be given nicotine pouches instead of punishment. It recommended that vaping be seen as a dependency issue rather than an act of deliberate misconduct, with services rolled out to reflect that. Youngsters who are particularly dependent on vapes should be given nicotine replacement therapies such as gum, chewing gum, and patches. Nicotine replacement therapies are already offered to children over the age of 12 who smoke cigarettes. Whilst the vast majority of children and young people in Wales do not vape, there has been a substantial increase in vaping amongst children and young people in Wales in recent years. In particular, since 2009. Public Health Wales Incident Response Group found. It noted that vaping among girls had shot up in the past few years and was substantially higher than amongst boys. How dare those British young ladies want to quit smoking? As part of the report, the IRG spoke to a number of school-age, college-age children that are in college, who said that they'd experienced cravings and withdrawals from e-cigs with 2Gs. An increasing proportion of children and young people are vaping daily and reporting nicotine dependency, according to the report, which said daily use was more common in older kids. An increasing number of children are experiencing dependency at a level that makes it very difficult to get through the school day without vaping on school premises.
Yeah.
The report pinned the dramatic rise of vaping in Wales, particularly in kids who weren't regular smokers or who had never smoked, on the rise in availability of disposable vapes. These devices are marketed in ways that appeal to children and young people in terms of product design, flavoring of consumables, and packaging, branding, and point-of-sale display, it explained. And then there's a picture of a grown-up adult dude vaping, which is totally legal because looks like a grown-up adult dude with a mustache and some gray hair.
Yeah. So Patrick, nicotine's addictive and it's dangerous to children, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to give them patches and gums that contain nicotine, right?
I guess.
Okay, I was just want to clarify that was what I heard. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So one form of nicotine is less habit forming than another, Kevin. One of them comes. Oh no, I was going to say one of them comes in flavors, but they both come in flavors, so that can't be it. One of them has pictures of fruit on the pack. Oh no, both of them have pictures of fruit on the packaging.
Oh damn. Oh damn.
Really, they seem pretty.
Well, one of them looks like they both look like candy, evidently. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Highly addictive. No.
Yeah.
No.
Michelle.
Listen, if these little shits were going to conceal their nicotine use, we would have an epidemic of patch and gum users from ages 3 to 35.
Kevin, I there's a term out there, Kevin, for people that are addicted to heroin, for example, that they can hide their use of heroin by boofing.
Yeah.
We have not heard, as far as I know, of any incidents of these rampant nicotine addicts trying to hide their nicotine addiction by squirting nicotine up their bum, or
I consider that we should suggest a TikTok challenge.
A bunch of ER visits of young men putting the patch on their sack.
On their hoo-ha?
I haven't heard of that either. So,
well,
I'm struggling with the
your own
with the discussion on how serious this vaping addiction is, because obviously people that are addicted to much more powerful drugs have gone to some pretty extreme delivery methods to hide, so they don't get track lines, and things like that. So I'm just
I love our listeners. I just do.
I'm very interested in how they are going to say, well, this nicotine is not as evil as this nicotine, because nicotine,
you've been convinced.
This nicotine you chew in your mouth, and the other one you puff on your mouth, or this one you adhese to your skin.
But Patrick, when you're questioning that, as I've been exposed to, these fuckers are nuts. They're all nuts. You're not allowed to even question this.
So now I'm wondering, Kevin, if nicotine can magically teleport itself outside of a cellophane wrapper. On cigarettes. Can nicotine not also somehow magically teleport itself out of a gum?
I think it would and could and should.
And also, if one person has a nicotine pouch on their arm,
Yeah.
and they stand near you,
Yeah, rub shoulders maybe even, yeah.
would it
Could
not
happen.
also somehow magically teleport itself off of that person's arm?
Yes.
Or
It
wherever
has to.
they've adhesed the patch to.
According to the trash article you read earlier, yes, it's extremely possible. And it's
Now,
very
the other
scary.
question is, Kevin, if a guy has nicotine pouch on their flesh somewhere, and they have relations with their partner of choice, is not some of that nicotine also transferred to the recipient of his?
Oh yeah. Oh, I imagine.
Byproduct. I'm just wondering now.
Let's go even further. If I pee in the toilet, and then you come in and pee in the toilet, and I had a patch on, then you're exposed. I'm scared.
Never cross the streams is all I'm saying.
Well, that too. At least one away. Nicotine condoms.
I'm thinking of a
you
whole
guys
new
should have
area
your own show
of nicotine delivery. Now that we know that nicotine can somehow magically, super sciencey, transport itself through a cellophane package.
Had I known all this when I was 9, I'd have just carried a full pack of cigarettes around all the time. I wouldn't have ever smoked them if I'd have known.
Well, you remember that TV show One Day at a Time?
Yes.
The guy that was on that show, Schneider, always had a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve up here. You remember that?
I don't remember him ever smoking, but I remember it being there. Yeah.
So that's how he was absorbing his nicotine, was through the pack, through the sleeve of his shirt.
Who'd have thunk that? Come on. See,
we have now broken the super secret. We have
Jason. I think they have one. Don't make.
See, I don't know that I should say that person's name on YouTube because I could get in trouble just by saying that person's name.
So I think there is 2 things that we've jokingly discussed. One is an anal nicotine solution of some sort. 1 and 2, I think they've got one either in the works or already out for Jason's statement of a vaccine of nicotine. I think.
So I mean they have vaccines for conditions.
Yeah.
Ebola, for example, that are
right
derived from a tobacco plant.
Oh, Squiggly or Squidly, whatever his name was. Yeah,
Squiggy.
He did it too. That's right.
So now we have Schneider and not Squidward, Squiggy. Squiggy.
Both
enjoyed having a pack of cigarettes rolled up in there, and I think Kaniki on Greece also did, but I'm not going to look that up right now.
Kaniki certainly did, and I'm telling you, there was a lot more smoking in that movie than I ever thought there would be after I watched it a couple times.
You're the one I want.
That's right. Oh. Olivia in any form, shape, angle, just never.
Holy shit, man, she was hot, and the scene where she gets like all leathered up at the end.
Well, yeah. Tell me
just
about it. Stud. She was directly talking to me. I knew she was because I was like 12.
Just say, hey, dude, I am not too embarrassed to admit that I own Xanadu on my streaming on my digital movie app. I purchased it.
I saw it. I didn't like it at the time. I probably would like it now.
Oh, dude. I mean, as an old dude now, listening to ELO,
you'd appreciate it more. Yeah.
Like she sings with ELO and a bunch of songs on that record. Mm-hmm. It's quite awesome.
Yeah.
And, anyway, not to get away from this boofing over here of
nicotine condoms are a good idea, Steve.
Yeah, I'm just 2 for the price of 1, because the giver and the receiver both are going to get a kick out for that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess if you're concerned about the nicotine exposure at the retail level, take a Ziploc bag, put it up over your head, bring it down around your neck, tighten it real tight, and then just stand there for like 7 minutes. That's my suggestion. That way you won't be able to breathe it.
Yeah, I'm not going to read the rest of this.
Thank God.
I just, thank God.
Sometimes, it's just, for Christ's sake. Anyway, it'll be okay.
Oh, this one, you'll love this one, Kevin.
That probably means I won't.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know any better, glow-in-the-dark condoms. Flavored. They got to be flavored.
And I'm allowed to make fun of this guy because my wife is from the Philippines. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I have permission. It's like I can make Catholic jokes because I'm Catholic. So I get a free pass on this. But here, let's listen to this person.
Such as Dr. Yuli mentioned earlier when we were talking off cam that there have been, a number at least of significant cases that, vaping directly linked to severe lung or severe heart disease.
Yes, in the U.S., that was when they had the E-Valley epidemic. That's e-cigarette.
E-Valley, the gift that keeps on giving, Kevin.
Epidemic. Both of them in the same sentence. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Why did that happen? That was weird. Okay.
Lung injury. And a lot of that was due to vitamin E acetate mixed with THC, right? That's the psychoactive.
So far,
so good.
Okay.
Active substance in marijuana. But there are many cases also that are not linked to that. And so
he got a point. Now I'm taking his point away.
See this happening also with heated tobacco products, so that's not marijuana.
Now he's going to HTPs, which is also BS.
And
so, there can't possibly have been a single, not a single case of heat not burn products causing E-Valley because they were not available in the United States at that time.
What? No.
They had not yet received their approval or their marketing orders.
Huh.
So I'm sorry, Dr. Yuli, you're a liar.
These cases have been reported in a number of countries. And in the Philippines, I know there is one case that was reported in 2019, 16-year-old lady. And our colleagues, pediatricians and pulmonologists are starting to see these cases of lung diseases much younger, in the teens. So it's quite...
Yeah, it could not possibly have anything to do with the massive amounts of pollution in the Philippines.
No, Patrick, that would be correlation virus.
I mean, especially in a city like Manila that has somewhere around 17 million people living in the same very small geographical location. Yeah. Lots of vehicles and cars and smog and lots of stuff. Can't possibly have been anything to do with that.
Quite worrisome. And we know this will become a growing problem because most of those who are using e-cigarettes now are young people. If we look at the statistics, Migs, the Global Adult Tobacco Survey tells us current e-cigarette users among adults is only 2%. But among the young people who are 13 to 15 years old, high schoolers, it's 14%. So it's quite worrying for us.
Yes, and Dr. Yule, when you talk about cigarettes, the actual cigarettes, and when the health community and of course the world has discovered its harmful effects, because before decades ago, Dr. Yule, you can smoke in airplanes, you can smoke in private spaces, even in basketball courts. But eventually, even in the 90s, people were smoking inside basketball courts. Smoking has been around in the malls.
Yes.
For so long. Do you think that e-cigarettes, will it also take a long time for health experts to discover the harmful effects similar to how it was with cigarettes? Yeah.
I think it happened much faster. For cigarettes, it took cigarettes, it took about 50 years before.
50 years, Kevin. So cigarettes were invented, and then within 50 years of their invention, people knew.
That's alleged. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go back and find pictures of cowboys from like the 1800s smoking. Am I, Kevin?
No.
Or Civil War era pictures of dudes smoking pipes. No.
No cigars. No.
We really established the link between smoking and cancer. And it was all, the industry, like I said, saying, these products are just to keep you calm, keep you alert. It's a stress reliever. But the cases really piled up over the years. There were not that many smokers in the beginning. Turn of the century, it was very rare to see a lung cancer case, But by the 1940s, doctors.
So he's saying in the 1900s, nobody got lung cancer.
Nobody got diagnosed.
The average life expectancy in 1900 was like 50.
I was going to say 40s, 50s. Yeah.
Let me see. Average life expectancy.
Did they even know the term cancer in the 1900s?
1900. Yeah. So the average in America, the average life expectancy in 1900 was 46 for men and 48 for women.
Yeah.
So, if I put, now let's just go with the Philippines since this guy's Filipino.
Yeah.
So in 1870, the average life expectancy in the Philippines was just under 31 years old.
Wow.
This remained the same until Philippine-American War in 1899, 1902, and the life expectancy dropped to 25 years. So in 1900, and then there was the Spanish flu in the 1920s, which dropped it even lower.
Right.
So of course they're not going to have a lot of cancer data from 1900s because nobody lived long enough to get cancer.
Are you saying that's correlation virus?
Híjole. Let's see if I can make it through some more of this video, Kevin.
We're really seeing this close association between lung cancer and smoking. Now we're seeing a large increase in the number of people who are using e-cigarettes. The uptake is much faster, especially with online advertising and sales. So we will probably see a surge in diseases, heart diseases, lung diseases, and possibly cancer because of carcinogens that have been identified already in the aerosol.
Híjole, another lie.
Wrong.
It may take 20, 30 years, but it'll get, I'm pretty sure it'll get there.
Now, for SITCA, or Southeast Asia Tobacco Control, is the use of vaping or e-cigarettes now at an alarming rate, at least in Southeast Asia?
Yes, it is actually. So like I mentioned, in the Philippines, among young people, it's 14%. And
so that's 14% of the kids that, and don't get me wrong, I mean, when I was in the Philippines, cigarettes were everywhere, Kevin. Like I could buy a carton of cigarettes for $12 in the Philippines. For the cost of like 2 cartons of cigarettes here, I could buy 10 cartons over there.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
In other countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, where these are allowed, we're also hearing that young people are really using a lot of these newer products. In Malaysia, they've also reported toxicity. So nicotine poisoning cases have increased among young people. Children, who are attracted to these flavors and nice smells, they actually drink the liquids, and very, very dangerous.
Okay, so now they're just stupid. Now they're just saying that people in Malaysia and Indonesia are stupid, is what they're,
What's the implication?
Yeah.
Very toxic, can cause seizures and even death. That's why there are 5 countries in ASEAN that have banned these products. So Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and Singapore have banned these products because they want to protect their young people from using these new products and become easily addicted and leading to all the various.
Now let's be clear, my friends. As beautiful, and Singapore is a very beautiful country.
Okay.
Very beautiful. Not really known to be the bastion of freedom and liberty, though.
Right.
Yeah, you get spit on the side. If they catch you spitting on the sidewalk, it's like a $500 fine, Kevin.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you, there are other things. I mean, hell, an American teenager got caught vandalizing a car, and he got beaten, caned in the public square, which I fully support. As a person that owns a car, I fully support that. But so this is just an example of the nonsense that is being used to indoctrinate people in the Philippines about vaping.
That's right.
Yes.
Idiots. Idiots are abound. They're everywhere.
This is why I'm proud that I married my wife, who is a much, much more intelligent Filipina
than you.
Well, compared to that guy.
Oh,
so yeah. Hear me. Why is I hate my Norton's utilities? It just always decides to run all sorts of shit like while I'm doing my show. But hey, let's go to another part of Pacifica, or whatever they call it, Oceania or whatever. Let's go to Australia. It's not like we have never talked about Australia on this show.
Prime Minister picked up on there. He spoke about the joint communique from all the health ministers calling on the federal parliament to implement the government's planned crackdown on vaping. Are the Nationals, are you on board with that?
Well, obviously it's going to a Senate committee and we'll respect that process. But we, in terms of our principles, don't believe that a prohibition...
This guy's name is David Littleproud. He's only a little proud. He's not like me, like super proud. Little proud.
Model has worked. We need better regulation, but we respect the fact that everyone has come to this with the right intent. We're not challenging, and no one is challenging, the science or the health advice that has come from the health professionals. But that's where their expertise ends, and where the regulation of this needs to be improved by those that are dealing with it. And what the Nationals fear, and fear clearly, is that we haven't made inroads into this, and particularly for the protection of children. And what we should look at is what has worked in society. And you look at what has worked is the regulation of cigarettes done many, many years ago about the point of sale, the regulation through a licensed point of sale. That makes it the policing a lot easier, but also about the contents and the packaging of those products to people only over 18. And that, when it came in a bit over a decade, had an 80% reduction in juvenile use of cigarettes. And if you look at what's happening at the moment, only about 8% of Australians who vape today actually have a prescription. The prescription model, which is a prohibition model, hasn't worked. And while all the states and the federal government has come to this with the right intent, we're all there with the right intent. I fear that history is going to repeat itself, and that prohibition won't work, and that we'll lose another generation of young people who will get onto this and then go to nicotine. I think it's important we look pragmatically at this, look at history, and understand that we've got to do something different to protect children. And when you look at the fact that we've got police shortages right across this state, even here in my home state, the police union tell me they're 4,000 police officers short, and they're struggling to keep juvenile delinquents off the street and keeping people safe, do you really think the Queensland Police Service are going to have the time to go and be cracking down on this when they're 4,000 police short?
That's a perfectly good a good point. Cops have like responsibilities that are way more important than, shaking down convenience stores. Are you selling this vaping stuff to kids?
I smell mango. Is there mango in here? Could you point me out to the mango?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to think differently about this and make sure that we protect children and understand what has worked in the past, but we'll work through this constructively.
We'll work through this constructively. So prohibition does not work. We need to look at more common sense regulation. I like that guy.
Well, there you go. Finally, one that you didn't really piss me off with. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Let's see. There's the next one.
Yeah.
I'm sure the next one will satiate your need to be
satiate. Quench my need.
I'm sure that Isaiah Carey at Fox 26 will make you regret saying what you just said.
All right.
It was back in 2023. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention launched a public service ad campaign to try and steer teens away from vaping in school. Let's take a look at that effort.
Is that a vape? Vapes are bad for you, so just don't do it. That won't work. I could just be friendly. Let her know I actually care. And that nicotine addiction can be one more source of stress you don't need in your life.
There's currently an epidemic now. There is a mechanical vape pen use epidemic out of the high schools where
He said a mechanical vape pen epidemic, Kevin.
Just, if I was going to start a company today, I would call it an epidemic vape, mechanical epidemic vape pen. That's what you'd see on my package. And I'd have a picture of, what's her name? Kathy. What's her face?
Kathy.
And Matt Myers on the back, just as a tribute. I'd just have them both.
Yeah.
That's who I'd have.
the children are. And so whenever you go into the bathroom, soon as you look up, you see everyone around. What are they doing? Everyone is hitting a vape pen. Everyone is hitting a wax pen. And what does it do to your mind? It programs your mind. Well,
now a wax pen, for those of you who don't know, are THC vape pens.
No.
Just
what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If everyone's doing this, maybe I need to do it. This is what deters us, the young people, from being able to elevate and strategize into the next level. Because why?
That's right. Strategize, brother.
To elevate and strategize, you got to move your hands when you say it.
You got to strategize. You can't not strategize and hypothesize.
Instead of focusing on how we're going to get into the next income source, we're actually looking at, okay, where's the next time I'm going to be able to smoke? When is the next time I'm going to be able to leave the class? So one of the biggest temptations I'm seeing that's facing the young people now, I would say, would be drug use.
He sounds like he's addicted.
And joining us now, the Factor Uncensored, Dr. Donnelly Ali with Archpoint Pain Institute. Dr. Ali, you've heard it from parents and you're hearing it from students.
So he's from Archpoint Pain Institute.
Well, thank God we've got an expert on that.
So
It's as well. They're saying all the kids, not all the kids, but many of the kids in high school and middle school are smoking these vape pens. And we're not just talking about nicotine. In some instances, we're talking about cannabis or marijuana vape pens. What kind of danger does that put those kids into?
Yeah, Isaiah. Yeah, this is a very alarming trend that we're seeing in.
Very alarming, Kevin. Down to like
It
what?
is. In fact,
what's the percentage? I'm sure Mallory will put it in there. Youth vaping in the United States is down to like 2.8 or 3.2.
2.3, 3.2.
Some
all of a sudden,
very
it's
small percentage there.
It's 11:51 at night on a Friday night, and now I'm alarmed. I don't understand.
It is so alarming, Kevin.
With social media, with the ease of the use of these pens, and with the flavor.
And again, I am so happy that they got a pain specialist, specialist to come on and talk about the awful youth
His
vaping
title-
public health crisis, because
His
the other
title is
people
no
have
less
chosen.
important.
Yeah. Not a pediatrician. Yeah.
Bring the additives that these companies have been putting into these vaping products.
Additives. You got to use that scary word, additives, Kevin.
That's right. Well, it's
That
not
makes
hard
it
to
sound
read
like
the script.
makes it sound like their e-liquid is being illicitly laced with something. That's the that's the next word he's going to use. I promise you.
If you gave me a teletype that I could read, you'd probably make me sound more intelligent than I already do. But fuck all that.
Yeah.
We've seen a significant increase in the amount of use of the.
According to who? The National Youth Tobacco Survey. They released their numbers, Kevin. I seem to remember them saying quite loudly that the overall number of youth vaping was down. It's 1.9% regular use, according to Raj. It's higher for single time experimentation, according to Mallory. But this guy is spouting nonsensical, made up numbers because
he can.
Yeah. So Omicidal is saying blackberry lemonade. This wonderful e-liquid that I'm vaping, my green e-liquid is berry absinthe, raspberry absinthe, with a little. I put in this batch, Kevin, and I made a large batch. I put 1% of WS-23 in it, and it is really cold. It is really cold.
There you go.
Yep.
See?
I don't know how many young people would be out there going, "Give me that absinthe flavored e-liquid."
Mm-hmm.
These substances to the point where, as this child was alluding to, that it's being done by almost everybody in schools, and they're going to bathrooms and taking these, breaks consistently to take a hit on their vape pens. And one thing he didn't mention was the sharing that's being done as well, and that increases the risk of infections and all these other things as
Those kids are swapping spit and doing all sorts of other stuff.
Well,
so if one of them has cooties, they all have cooties anyway, Kevin.
Conjecture.
Yeah.
Well, that we're not even discussing beyond the fact of the nicotine use, the additives and the chemicals that these
additives and chemicals, Kevin,
vaping
and nicotine
products have, as well as the cannabis use. So the whole combination of all of this stuff, Isaiah, is very scary. It's alarming.
Scary.
Unfortunately, the trend
That's right.
continues to get worse and worse as folks are now, and these companies, these vaping companies, are coming out with newer and newer products and different flavors. And to be frank with you, a lot of these are becoming more and more.
Now he's just suddenly decided his name is not Danish. He wants to change it to Frank because he says he wants to be frank with you. So.
Or in nicotine, because they need to give more folks more of that high, more of that urge.
That high, Kevin.
Yeah.
Are you high right now, Kevin? From your
I
nicotine
smoked
vaping?
I smoked a lot of cigarettes and I never got high.
High.
More of
I
that
mean,
need
a lot.
to consume more and more of that product.
And when we talk about the use of these vape pens, and many people saw it.
I want to go find this guy and say, "Hey, Danish, I saw you on TV." And he's going to go, "Oh, you want my autograph?" I'm like, "No, I need to sit down and have a chat with you about all the nonsense you've been spouting on TV."
We'll talk to the guy on the right, too.
The unscientific. Well, this guy's just a dumb TV guy. This is supposed to be a healthcare professional who, by and large, every healthcare profession, whether that's an MD, a nurse, physical therapy, we stand by evidence-based practices.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Which means that everything that we do is supposed to be based on some sort of research. something that
Allegedly.
shows the efficacy of that. And this guy's just spouting a whole bunch of statistics that are just made up.
But Patrick, in his defense, he's talking about the CDC and the FDA and the NIH. And all
No, I
these
mean, even the
trusted-
fucking CDC came out and said that vaping was down in teenagers.
But he doesn't have
The
time to
head of
keep
the
up with
FDA
that.
I have video of him saying there's no such thing as a vaping epidemic because there's been a decline in vaping and an epidemic is an increase. So even
He's
that dumb son of
obtained-
a bitch is able to tell the truth. But this moron, Denise
Well, the
Alley,
moron,
who's a
the
pain
moron
fucking
doesn't
doctor,
doesn't have time to keep up with all the stuff. That's
should
all.
not be allowing himself to be on TV. He's destroying the respect of his fucking profession by,
that too.
going on TV
Aren't they
and
both?
spouting off nonsense that he has no business talking about because it's not his area of expertise.
I think this one made you madder than it made me.
Well, it's because I work in healthcare and this guy
I know.
is
I
cringe
know.
as fuck.
You should be embarrassed.
As an
These are your
alternative
people.
to smoking cigarettes. And obviously, smoking cigarettes bad. Now we're hearing that vaping is bad. But what does it do to a young person if they're not only vaping nicotine, they're also possibly vaping cannabis or marijuana in those?
Now, cannabis is marijuana. Isaac,
That's twice he's
or
done that,
Isaiah.
yeah.
Just not to overly criticize you because I know that you're just a dumb TV talking head. But cannabis is marijuana and marijuana is cannabis.
Dirty laundry.
Pens.
Yeah, Isaiah, what we're seeing is a lot of these, and a lot of the research is still ongoing from the long-term effects of this product. Obviously, it's been around, but we're still seeing some of the research that's being done to show the long-term effects of these, right? There's additives in it, there's metal compounds, there is flavoring as well. What are the long-term effects? And that's what we're really concerned about, is because we know that that nicotine product is there, and because of the ease of it and because of how much it's consumed now, we are concerned that this may be even more alarming and more detrimental for the long-term effects of these.
And he's this stock footage is Honey Black, which is a tobacco. It's not bad.
That's
actually.
1987, ain't
products,
it?
because of the ease, because of the convenience, all the things that are being added into these products. And so this is definitely an alarming trend. And I think that we need to be talking about it more, and we need to be doing more about it. I think, is it safer? The answer is only long-term research will show that answer. But we know that there are harmful, very addictive things in here.
Very addictive things, Kevin.
Again, what's the danger? And they don't know. So
Very addictive. You're
So
addicted to a harmless thing.
And there's just the alarming trend of what's going on right now.
And we know from the
alarming, Kevin.
Latest statistics, I think it indicated 2.1 million young people around the country are vaping, and that would be middle and high school students, and at least 18% in high school and middle school here in the state of Texas. That should be alarming.
That's correct, Isaiah. And what we're not mentioning is the adults as well that are consuming these products, because
That's right.
what we're seeing.
Oh, now we must be really concerned about those adults making adult choices for themselves.
That's right. That's right.
Is that the numbers are going up in the teenagers and college students as well, but we're also seeing these products be utilized with adults. And what that happens is that may also lead to other comorbidities and other conditions, like it affecting your heart, your lungs, your blood vessels. We already know as we age, we get more atherosclerosis or hardening of the arteries. And if we're adding nicotine in these vaping products, that's even more of a concerning and alarming sign. And that's what we're seeing, that trend increasing of other products such as vaping. And now these folks are now consuming and adding other substances into the mix. And again, this stuff is
substances now, additives, substances, chemicals.
He should stick to pain medicine. He really should.
Denise
He should.
Alley,
You need a collar, and you should stick to pain medicine. That's what you should do.
Yeah, let's get rid of this guy.
Oh, thank God. I just me. What is wrong with these people? You can walk around the same fucking statement 16 times in that video, at least. At least. In fact, Patrick, I've heard that they're them kids, them little children. It's the children I'm concerned about. They're using marijuana and cannabis. Holy fuck! What is this world? Next thing you know, they're going to be listening to the Beatles and growing out their hair.
How dare they?
Fucking ne'er-do-well little shits. Get off my lawn. Oh my God.
I'm not having any luck finding these people on the X's today, Kevin.
Well, some of them are afraid to be, so there you go. And sometimes I take the link you've used or someone else has, and I put that in the search bar on Twitter, and then I can find them if they've tweeted themselves, because they like themselves a lot, and that's alarming. And then they'll tweet it, and then I'll be like, oh, there you are, you little fucker, right? So, and sometimes you don't. But it might be like the association they're with, or our friend Bob recently was on TV. Watch this.
Arch Point.
Oh, you're going to the pain center. Tell him we both need appointments for pain.
He doesn't have a Twitter. I found the sharing of his bullshit lies.
I believe you. I'm telling you, a lot of them don't. They're afraid. Or they really just don't have a Twitter. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Brian doesn't have a Twitter. Scott had a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter.
Okie doke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found his employee.
I believe you. Who he's representing, obviously, with his shirt. Yeah. So, Raj, right. They don't correct it. They just put it out, and then they let everybody go with it, and they never say a fucking... They don't care. They don't care. They haven't cared. They're probably not going to care, and they probably won't in the future. That's how it works. I wasn't like this. I wasn't tainted as I am now 10 years ago. It all started when I stopped smoking. I was already cranky, just for the record, but it got worse. And then I met Fig and Patrick, and then it got even more worse. Then you throw Dave in the mix, and Ray was a cranky old broad too, wasn't he? Cranky old geezer. You just tap, tap, tap. There you go. Hey, I haven't seen any kids vaping. I went by the high school today. I didn't see one kid puffing on nothing. Nothing. It's hard to believe, isn't it? I don't know how that happened. Tappity tap tap tap. Tell us what you're doing, Zippy.
Oh, sorry. Here, let me. I'll share screen so you can see me.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. It's like a play-by-play.
Yeah.
I have to read. There we go. Good Lord. Throw in your title with it, Patrick, just to make him feel bad.
Well,
Tell
he's
him who you are.
He's an MD, and I only have a a master. So I don't want to. Can't really argue from a position of authority when he technically has a higher degree. I mean, that's the
Well,
whole.
then he should be.
When people
He should be
argue based on some sort of certificate that they have hanging on the wall,
Yeah,
it really
it doesn't
loses all
work.
credibility to me.
And there you go. There's my point.
Yeah,
because he's lost all of his. I don't know how a company would allow an employee to make those statements anyway. You're going where to do what? Don't fuck it up. Don't be looking stupid with us in your. You don't wear your own shirt. Block it out. Don't identify yourself. That's what should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassing. What's wrong with it? Well, we just don't know enough. So Zippy over there, I saw one of your MDs, Dr. Danish Ali, assuming that's a pronunciation.
That's I went and looked at his embroidery on his scrubs so I could verify that I was spelling it properly.
On a recent TV interview, Archpoint Pain, you should probably restrict his TV appearances to speaking on topics he's qualified to speak on. He repeatedly made statements not based on evidence about the dangers of vaping. An MD on TV should be held to a higher standard. And you're correct. If you have any questions or you'd like to invite him on the show, please contact me at. Be more than happy to discuss it with you. Because they're never questioned. Like Raj said, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And nobody corrects each other. Nobody. Except the very few that we know of. Jim McManus, I believe, is the gentleman's name.
Is that sufficient, Kevin?
I didn't see the second part. An MD should be fabricating facts to suit an ideology has no place in healthcare. That's correct. That is correct. Beautiful. I had.
So, I mean, I don't know that this will do anything because they only,
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, but I feel like, if 100 people retweet that, then maybe they'll respond.
They might.
I doubt it, but it's possible. They might have a sack. You never know. He might decide to come on and respond on Twitter to challenge my assertion that he's unprofessional liar. But
I would love that.
if he does respond on Twitter, then all of our friends can educate him, and I will invite him to come on the show and speak about the non-scientific statements that he made on TV. Yeah.
Well, we got receipts for things that they don't know. Obviously.
Yeah. So, Kevin,
what?
I mentioned at the top of the show, that we had new information, a new release, more stuff from the Royal College of Physicians that was just updated yesterday.
Yeah,
on their website. So let me present this for all of you to see. Since we love to bring evidence-based information to our people, even though that jackass doctor should probably lose his license to be on TV. So this is e-cigarettes and harm reduction, an evidence review put out by the Royal College of Physicians. It says the Royal College of Physicians has published a new report that looks at the part e-cigarettes can play in preventing death, disability, and inequalities from tobacco use. So this is a press release and a website update. And then there's a evidence you can purchase or download the whole review. It says here, the new RCP report, E-Cigarettes and Harm Reduction and Evidence Review, looks at several themes, including how e-cigarettes can be used to support more people, to support more people to quit attempts while discouraging young people and never smokers from taking up e-cigarette use. It also examines trends in tobacco and vaping use, the effectiveness of e-cigarettes to treat tobacco addiction, and the differences in health effects of people who in vaping in people who smoke, vape, or do neither, the role of the tobacco industry and the rise of the use of e-cigarettes, and the ethical dilemmas presented by e-cigarettes. With over 50 recommendations, the report concludes that e-cigarettes remain an important tool to alleviate the burden of tobacco use, but that much more can and should be done to reduce their appeal, availability, and affordability to people. I don't like this, affordability. That's bullshit. To people who do not smoke, including children and young people, and reduce environmental harms. So it makes several recommendations for regulations on vaping to protect young people and never smokers from vaping. So how okay, so
Yeah.
price. So how can price be a barrier for never smokers?
Well, if you're addicted, you don't care. I got an idea.
So,
how about let people make their own fucking decisions?
Yeah.
That's it.
So it says here, price, Kevin, price, raising their price by introducing an excise tax and minimum unit pricing while banning multi-buy purchases, but making sure they remain a less expensive option for adults using them to quit. How can you do both, Kevin?
You can't really. And
how
I
can
understand.
You raise the price to make them less appealing to people who are children and people who have never smoked, which are two different demographics, by the way.
People who don't want them and people who can't get them, allegedly.
So never smokers who are rich, that's not a barrier. Never smokers who are middle class, that's not really a barrier. So it's only a barrier to poor people, Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's shit on the poor people.
What about the nicotine patch addicts who want to transform themselves over to? I think they should be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already addicted to the nicotine patch and the gums, Kevin, you might as well have another fruity option because you already have the fruity gum.
That's a sector of the people that we'd never discuss, hardly ever, and I'm tired.
People that are addicted to the nasty tasting nicotine. I mean, even the fruity flavored nicotine gum is pretty shitty flavored, Kevin.
It's bad. It's intolerable to me. Didn't work.
It's odd to me that they can make nicotine pouches that have a decent flavor, but they can't make nicotine gum that has a decent flavor.
Are they keeping the patches and the gums and the lozenges and the sprays at a reasonable
I've never
price?
used any. I only have experience with the gum, Kevin.
So people will not buy them. Is the price point at that point like they're trying to do here? Then maybe I'd understand it.
Yeah. So promotion, restricting point of sale in-store promotional materials and product visibility, and restricting promotion on social. So Kevin, if you go into a convenience store and the product is under the cabinet and you can't see it, how do you know that the store even has it?
You'd have to ask. Or word of mouth, somebody say, hey, they got them over there. But you got to ask because you can't see them.
But that's going to reduce access.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So purchase, ensuring trading standards services are sufficiently resourced to effectively enforce e-cigarette sales legislation and reduce underage sales. Well, fund your fucking prevent. I mean, this is the same problem we have here in the States. This is, the FDA is a very small, Jason is already over in the Rumble. Like he's advertising. He was just here in the regular chat.
First.
I guess he wants to advertise that he's moved. So again,
Mhm.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
I mean, I do get it. I mean, like I said, if FDA had enough people to do their job, then we wouldn't have a problem here.
You know, it's weird because I don't like artichokes, and every time I go to the store and I walk past the artichokes, I think, God, why are they enticing me?
Oh, I love artichoke.
I don't
Spinach and
care.
artichoke
I don't care.
dip
It doesn't matter.
Is awesome. You go to
Because you're
the
an addict.
restaurant and they put spinach and artichokes and they put like a layer of cheese on there and you get
Them
like
artichoke
a chip
fuckers.
and you scoop it up and it's
Can't
it's
stand
yummy.
them. But why do they want to put them in my face? They should be hidden behind the counter where nobody can see them, and they'd have to ask for it. That's the way I see it.
Mm. So
Artichoke fuckers.
anyway, if you're interested, they have links to the nicotine without smoke as well as the harm reduction nicotine addiction. And they have full links down here so that you can download the full report, which is 7.5 megabytes, Kevin.
Yeah, that's quite
I suggest you go read it.
I'm
Not right now.
Well, some of those people haven't returned, have they?
So, Jason, it says that he's a fan of asparagus.
I love
asparagus
cauliflower.
is pretty good, except that for the next 2 days after you eat a good amount of asparagus, you have weird smelling pee.
I told my mother, she called. I said, she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm eating. What are you eating? Because my mother cared when she was alive about me. And I said, I'm broccoli or cauliflower. Or such. You never ate that as a kid. Well, I didn't like it as a kid. Well, why do you like it now? Well, because you're not forcing it down my fucking throat.
Well, I never ate broccoli when I was a kid because my mother.
I love broccoli now.
My mother destroyed the broccoli by pouring like a half a block of melted Velveeta on top of it.
Yeah.
And I actually prefer my broccoli without the Velveeta pour over the top of it.
Just a tad of butter on both cauliflower.
I just like it, steamed.
Yeah,
a little bit. So I want it to still be firm and not be. I want my
Mm-hmm.
little trees to actually still
have a little crunch.
Be little trees. So
just
that
in
when
case
I
there's
eat
a
them,
bird in there. Yeah.
I feel like going fee, fi, fo, fum, and eating the tree.
Raw green beans. They're good.
Yes.
Same idea.
Yes.
Right out of the garden. Yeah.
Yes. Let me rub this one. Rub it. This one actually got a lot of people's attention. Earlier, and the headline is inside. No thanks. Inside flesh-eating zombie drug Tranq found in vapes, as it claims lives of 11 Brits so far.
I missed this one completely until I saw the notes, and I'm like, oh, good Lord, here we go.
Flesh-eating zombie drug Tranq found in vapes. Traces of a powerful flesh-eating tranquilizer that turns users into zombies has been found in cocaine and cannabis vapes in the UK, with experts warning about the deadly rise. So there's a picture here of a dude sitting on the sidewalk. He's got a beer and he's got some sort of stuff here in front of him. And look at his knee.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
That's not good. Looks like it may hurt.
It doesn't. It doesn't look like it feels good.
No.
That's a full thickness right there. That he's down to underlying subtissue. That's really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, a killer drug that turns users into lifeless zombies is now rife on the streets of Britain, according to new research. Counterfeit prescription medication, cannabis vapes, and cocaine have been found traced with xylazine, known as Tranq in the UK, a report from King's College London. The powerful animal tranquilizer, strong enough to knock out an elephant, has in recent times swept through parts of the U.S., namely Philadelphia, where hordes of addicts have been filmed with their heads hanging, stood still like statues. The potent drug, which can cause flesh-eating skin sores, has already been linked to 11 deaths in the UK, but experts warned the true figure is much greater.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The administrator of the DEA in the U.S., Ann Milgram, said last year that xylazine is making the deadliest drug threat our country has ever faced. Fentanyl look even deadlier. And then there's pictures of homeless people. It is also used as a cutting agent to make other drugs such as Valium, cocaine, and counterfeit codeine stronger and to stretch supplies. Xylazine works by blocking androgenic receptors, which release stress hormones such as dopamine in the brain and effectively slow down responses.
Wow.
As a result, stress is relieved along with pain, and there is a sense of euphoria similar to opioids, but it can dangerously lower people's heart rate and breathing, causing suffocation. The theory about the source is that Tranq restricts blood vessels, blocking oxygenated blood from flowing through the body. This can stop injuries from healing properly, increasing the chances of infection. The drug was first noticed on British shores when toxicologists at the National Program of Substance Abuse Deaths noticed a strange peak in test results, which was later identified as xylazine. Dr. Carolyn Copeland, senior author from King's College London and director of NPSAD, said authorities do not know how widespread xylazine is in the UK as it is not included in the standard drug screening, she said. How big is the UK's xylazine problem? This could be the tiniest tip of a growing iceberg. Ooh, look, even more gross pictures of a guy's knee.
All right.
Yeah. The UK's first known Tranq victim is believed to have been Carl Warburton, a 43-year-old factory worker who died in May of 2022. The father of two's death was announced in the Journal of Forensic and Legal Medicine, which said he overdosed on a mix of xylazine, heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine. I mean, that guy was looking for some fun with, I mean, even without the xylazine, the heroin, the fentanyl, and the cocaine, he was looking for a good night. Because you got, yeah. The KCL study in the Journal of Addiction warns of side effects including airway compromise, ulcers, which can lead to amputation. Researchers said xylazine was a major concern in the U.S., and this public health threat has now expanded to the United Kingdom.
I've never heard of it tonight.
Actually, I've seen videos. It's pretty cool, Kevin. Pretty cool. The Food and Drug Administration said the drug is prevalent in 7% of overdoses across U.S., and those who overdose on xylazine do not respond to any known antidote, according to the FDA warning. Hey, now I'm getting ads for watches. Are you worried about a new drug wave set to hit Britain? Sure, I am.
Well, after I read this article, I certainly am. Not that I feel manipulated into answering the question is yes.
That's pretty, I mean, so it makes them kind of lethargic and unmotivated to move, and they apparently stand in immobile and apparently develop wounds. So they're walking around with infected wounds on their skin, so they smell bad. That sounds like every homeless person. And they're just kind of interesting.
Scary.
Xylazine, Kevin.
Never heard of it.
I'm gonna have to spruce up my green vape a little bit more so that I can get some xylazine in there.
Some zombie looking vape.
It's already green, so you might as well just,
Yep. There you go. Yeah. Just put a little blood around your face and that'll scare people. That's right. That's right. Is it time?
Not yet. We got two more before it's time.
Damn. Okay.
I'm watching a commercial.
The trifecta.
While we're in the UK, Kevin, let's just cover this one too.
All right.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people like me, in fact, most people don't smoke. Most people in this country would probably like not to be around smokers. Everyone in this country knows they are cancer sticks and are bad for you, but we still have some people who smoke. Should we bring in a ban that affects well, children now, but who will be adults in a few years, where we have a situation where two adults born not even just months apart, but like hours apart, one can be legally allowed to buy a legally sold product, and one would be banned from buying it. Sensible law?
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I think the context for this policy is that the economy that we have in the UK at the moment is suffering from poor population health that's been decades and years in the making. We have an NHS that's struggling quite badly in terms of sustainability. Tobacco and cigarettes are the only consumer product that kills 2/3 of its users when used as intended. And look,
no, that went up. It used to be 50%. Now they're saying that it kills 2/3 of the people who use it correctly.
Look, you have to put the dividing line of a policy somewhere. You can't have a blanket ban without any thought for those that currently smoke. It's an addictive product. So you do need that line somewhere. But I don't think that problem undermines this sensible idea that's good for the economy.
I mean, again, everyone right thinking should be opposed to children smoking. That's why it's illegal for children to smoke, and that's why the ban on buying cigarettes was raised from the year you could buy them from the age 16 to age 18. I think pretty much nobody opposed that. Perhaps probably some 17-year-olds who already smoked. I'm genuine. I'm really anti-smoking. However, a lot of people are worried this is thin end of the wedge stuff. This is slippery slope stuff that actually, when we get to the point where we've got this law actually in force, in a few years' time, is an adult in a shop wanting to buy a legally sold product, and someone born few weeks, few hours, few days, a few years ahead of them is able to buy them, and they're not. This is going to be a nonsense. Now, will the solution then be dump this silly law? It doesn't work. You have a law that affects some adults and not others? Or will the solution be, let's ban it for everybody? And if that is the solution, what's the next thing that's banned?
There you go.
So I don't think it's slippery slope. I think the number of people for whom that scenario that you just outlined, it will affect them for will be perishingly small.
So the number of people who will be a legal adult who is not allowed to buy a product that other adults can buy, that's going to be small?
Well,
this guy's an idiot.
Hey, they could do this with alcohol too.
And the number, the number of people would constantly be increasing. The number of adults every year, more people would become an adult.
Yeah.
And can buy every adult product that other adults can buy, except for this one.
Right. Including alcohol and all that. Yeah.
So I like the girl. I like the lady. She's sensible. This guy's an idiot.
So the thing to remember with this policy is that the vast majority of its impact will happen in the first 10 to 15 years, i.e. most people that start smoking are teenagers that go on to regret it quite profoundly in later life. What you probably won't get is a load of 30-year-olds.
See, I know for a fact, Kevin, that this man is a member of the Never Touch a Booby tribe.
Never touch a booby. What?
He has never touched a booby. I promise you.
What?
Look at this guy.
And say 15 years, kind of desperately trying to start smoking. That's just not how it works. So what you actually have is a very small number of people that are still addicted to nicotine by the time they're 30.
So wait. So he's saying if you ban, if you make it illegal, if you make an addictive product illegal, that magically no one will want it.
Oh no, because they'll never leave the country and try it somewhere else and then come back thinking they really want it. No.
Or like every other illegal drug that exists, like the Tranq story that we just talked about. The gentleman that passed away they found Tranq, heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine.
Right.
Now, all of those things are legal?
Well, no.
In the UK?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. They don't have to travel. But if they did, and then they found it, and then they came back and said, hey, Bob, can you do that? What do you mean I got to call Ed? He lives in California. Can't you do it? Okay, thank you. See, that's how it would work.
I'm just saying, this is... this is definitely a man child who has apparently never lived in an adult world.
Nothing better to do. How
Then
you're out of your fucking mind.
Then tell people you can't do the thing that you want to do.
Right. So, no, you can't have condoms if you're born after 2010. Or
hey,
name any.
You don't have to use a seatbelt if you're over the age of 50.
There, see?
Yeah.
Population control is,
But they have quite uniquely, and this is why I think this policy is possible today in a way that it wasn't previously. They have alternatives in terms of nicotine that weren't on the market in a prominent way kind of 10, 15 years ago in the form of non-combustible products like vapes. So, in fact, there's a readily made alternative for them if
So he's saying that they're going to ban combustible cigarettes, but
Yeah.
they would never.
No, nothing else is on the table.
So the slippery slope mentioned in the
Who's next?
So, yeah.
Double plus good. Who's next?
in small numbers, they do still have a nicotine addiction.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think
and it's amazing to me how many people who are anti-smoking, also very, very anti-vaping. I'm not pro-vaping, but it certainly seemed to be a very useful way for a lot of people I know who'd never, ever been able to give up smoking to be able to give up. So it seems to me the crackdown on that has been quite bizarre as well. But you know as well as I do, there are going to still be people who want to buy cigarettes and they're going to be buying them on the black market. It's already huge. If you think most people living on council estates on benefits are paying 16 quid for a packet of fags, think again, they're not. They're getting them on the black market already. We're just going to be expanding that black market.
See? So for those of you who don't know the nomenclature or the terminology, council estates are like the projects, like government subsidized housing. And that means poor people. Yep. And she said the same thing that I just said. Poor people will just buy on the black market. And she just said, do you think that they're paying the 16 quid?
They're going to say, screw the queen.
Okay, now, as much as I don't want anyone buying cigarettes.
They're going to have a London Tea Party.
That's right.
In the Thames.
A London Tobacco Party.
In the Thames.
Don't want anyone smoking. We have to face the reality. We saw what happened with prohibition in the United States. We see what's happening to a certain extent with drugs that are not so widely demanded. But there are still, there's still a good percentage of people in this country who smoke, who want to smoke, and who are going to want to smoke in a few years' time when they're adults. They're going to get those on the black market. Encouraging criminality, losing the taxation that helps pay for treating lung cancer and heart disease as a result of smoking. Is that actually a good solution to the problem?
Well, there's lots to unpick there, Julia. I mean, the first thing to say is the taxation that's created from cigarette sales does not account for the combined cost of both the NHS's cost, but also the economic cost of people that are sick.
All right, now I'm going to pause here. Let's go to Google. Let's see. No, thanks. I don't want to.
Let's fact check it.
UK tobacco tax revenue
is distributed
2020. I bet you they don't have 2024. So let's go to 2023, Kevin.
Yeah, fine.
All right. So according to the Google AI, AI, the UK government collected $10.4 billion in tobacco taxes in 2023. Actually, the way they have it stated here, because the Brits they have millions and billions like off.
Yeah.
In some things. So here they have 10,004 million, which is 10.4 billion.
Yeah.
According to the AI. So they collected $10.4 billion in okay, so now let's do UK lung cancer
Yeah.
Lung cancer expense 2023. Well, that is actually so. It says in 2023, individual costs were the largest contributor to the cost of preventable cancers in the UK at 65 billion.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, preventable cancers were just it doesn't specifically say what the lung cancer cost is, how much lung, but it does say that the cost per case, the highest for lung cancer at approximately 920,000 pounds per case.
Damn.
So, okay. So he didn't lie. I did want to fact check him. Didn't want to lie.
Before the retirement age, and therefore not
But
producing.
but smokers helpfully dying before they can claim most of their pension does actually pay for it. Actually, the economics on this are very clear. Smokers overall claim less. They don't live as long. They don't. Pensions are the biggest single outlay of the welfare state, and they end up costing less.
That's not true, Julia, because we'd be much poorer if no one was alive to work. So we do need people to contribute to the economy.
No, they are alive, but they don't claim their pensions for as long. That's the economic reality.
They don't reach retirement age, so the economy suffers. We have, kind of today, new data from the ONS.
So she's saying that they pay into the system, and they don't collect their pension for as long because they die. So the money that's left over in their pension fund gets reabsorbed, and
that sounds familiar.
That's a fact. And he's like, no, it's not. It is.
3 million people out of work because of long-term sickness. That's an absolutely tremendous drag on the UK economy. So it is a cost. It is partially down to smoking, but of course it's down to other public health threats as well. Look, in terms of the black market, I think in every case the government proposing a tobacco control policy, industry-funded research and kind of some voices on the libertarian side of politics say the black market will emerge. It's not actually that big. And what you have in this instance is an alternative market.
Okay, let's go back to the UK.
One talking out their ass, and then the other one's talking out their ass, and then
cigarette. Black market estimate 2023.
Jesus.
Let's see. All right. So this is a policy paper from this is actually the Ministerial Department of the Government of the UK. This is a UK government website.
Yeah.
It says that the illicit market in tobacco duty and related VAT was $2.8 billion in 2021 and 2028. That's just the loss in tobacco. Yeah. That's just the loss.
If the government, this is the way I see this. If the government wants money, any government, and someone can avoid paying them for the money they want, that's going to be. There's no question in my mind about it. Ever. For any product. Doesn't matter.
Here we go. So, according to the Euromonitor, the international estimates is that 372.2 billion cigarettes per year are smuggled, manufactured illegally, or counterfeited in the UK.
No.
The illicit trade also cheats governments out of around $40 billion per year, US dollars per year in taxes.
So that's not very large, Kevin.
No, that's not very big.
According to this member of the Never Touch
The England's like smaller than, or UK smaller than Texas, isn't it?
Yes, the UK is tiny.
Wow, billions.
So
Wow.
we already know for a fact that the illicit cigarette market in New York City alone rivals the size of the one in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Market for legal vapes that are a cheaper alternative to smoking that I think people will prefer. And
I will at least give him credit for at this moment promoting vaping.
Yeah,
but
momentary.
the next shoe will be, well, let's ban vapes too.
I don't think you'll see a black market emerge.
Well, we shall see who is right and who is wrong. Chris Thomas, I really appreciate you joining us. He's from the IPPR. Thank you for that.
So yeah,
I guess I have a hard time thinking that I can ban something to forbid my grandson to choose from en masse. I guess I can't put my head around that theory that I can do that. There are things that I wouldn't like him to do, I guess. I mean, I don't want him to be a murderer or, smoke crack or, whatever. But those things are already illegal, right?
Yeah.
So,
well,
I don't understand.
Last I checked, killing people was still illegal, Kevin.
That's what I mean. Those things are still illegal, so it doesn't.
So, Kevin, the World Health Organization just got body slammed by fact checkers.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Tedros is in the country, right? By the way, just so you know, or was.
Well, he's in a country. I don't know where he is. He in our country? Look at all these wonderful hat advertisements.
He's
right here
talking to Bernie Sanders and all the other dumbasses over there in Washington. The blue-haired woman and fucking Sanders and
oh yeah, the one from Rhode Island or
making
Vermont.
his rounds.
So anyway, it says here, the World Health Organization slammed by fact checkers for claiming vaping can cause a seizure within 24 hours.
Yeah.
People claim WHO's statement has not been supported by scientific evidence. Ex-users called on the WHO to either provide proof or delete the tweet. Read more second by second. Blah, blah, blah. So the World Health Organization was slammed last night for claiming vaping can lead to seizures within hours. The Global Health Agency was fact-checked by ex-users, prompting the social media platform to post a community note. The note said this post is based on inconclusive evidence utilizing studies that have not been peer-reviewed.
That's right.
And here's a picture of the tweet. And then you scroll down, blah, 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 blah. It's been slammed here by the community notes. Dr. Charles Gardner, a Brooklyn-based developmental neurobiologist, tweeted, please provide peer-reviewed evidence of this claim that vaping causes seizures typically within 24 hours. If you cannot do this, please delete your tweet. Note, I have researched the literature and cannot find one study showing a higher risk of seizures. Steve Rolls, senior policy analyst for Transform Drug Policy Foundation, a drug policy reform organization, said, pretty sure this is nonsense. Why is the WHO's position on vaping so weirdly misaligned? Other users claimed the WHO clowns liars, called the WHO clowns liars and claimed it was promoting propaganda. A spokesperson for the health agency, however, provided dailymail.com with research that said the tweet was based on an April 2023 peer-reviewed study examining health impacts of electronic cigarettes. The research states that the published evidence indicates that use of nicotine e-cigarettes increases the risk of adverse health outcomes, including addiction, poisoning, toxicity from inhalation, including seizures and lung injury.
Yeah.
A fresh wave of criticism comes as the organization is still trying to win back public trust after what many deem was a botched response from the WHO to COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
It advised against wearing masks for months at the start of the pandemic, and numerous scientists have slammed WHO's reluctance to acknowledge COVID was frequently spread in the air and by people without symptoms, yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
Unreliable
it says here, the community note
source.
on X included a link. Yeah. So there.
Unreliable source, period.
Unreliable source, period. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. I got nothing else.
So Dr. Charles Gardner slamming the FDA
right.
with
Good.
a show us the receipts tweet.
The Who. He's slamming who?
Doctor Who?
You said FDA. He was slamming who?
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's okay. Everything's fine. Calm down. Either way.
You were the one that decided to try to correct me, Kevin.
Public health is not to be trusted 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Period.
But yeah.
And the other 5% should be looked at very, very quickly and easily and questioned. What? Is it time?
You know what time it is?
Is it time?
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the Week.
Wow! Here, kitty.
Wow.
Gotta make it bigger.
Again,
yeah.
In the effort to provide tweets from people that we don't see all the time, Kevin, every one of Kevin's tweets was from people that he worships repeatedly on Twitter.
I wouldn't go that far.
This is from Fiona Patton.
Yep.
She is the former member of the Victoria Parliament.
Yep.
Australian people's government over there. She says there's overwhelming evidence that vapes are the best tool for smoking cessation, allowing access via a hard to get script for an even harder to get product is prohibition. Ryan, he's a member of the Australian government too. Yes to strict regulation, but with easy access for adult smokers. And here she's providing information from the latest Cochrane review.
I didn't send you that one.
Well, I think there's lots of stuff you don't see.
I follow her. I'm just saying.
Apparently, you're not paying attention, Kevin.
That's right.
Yeah. So then we got this tweet here from Concerned Citizen.
Uh-oh.
And he says, have the benefits of vape or of nicotine been kept secret from us? And there's a little video.
That's on. The outside looks like a tomato, but the inside is brown.
Maybe the tomato seeds crossbred with the tobacco seeds.
When nicotine from tobacco plants, eggplants, white potatoes, tomatoes, celery, cauliflower, or all nightshade vegetables, they all have nicotine in them, and tobacco plants. When you consume nicotine from those plants in your body, the natural form of nicotine in plants, the binding affinity, the magnetism to the nicotine receptors in your body is 30 times more potent than venom, than acetylcholine. In fact, the drug that worked against said DNA expert.
There's a certain word if you replace the beep with a certain word, you know it's, you're not allowed to say that certain word.
In France in April of 2020, they said it works because it binds to the same nicotine receptors the nicotine consumers of cigarettes and tobacco product users are getting the benefit from nicotine. It binds to the same cells. However, they said nicotine from tobacco and foods actually binds 30 times more powerfully than does.
Beep. Beep. Well, that was a bunch of beepness.
Beep. Beep.
Or a bunch of bull beep.
So then you decided to send me this action on smoking and health tweet or X or whatever. Stripping cities of their right to make decisions in the interest of residents isn't just unconstitutional. It's bad policy that harms public health and undermines the progress we've made to reduce tobacco use, Klein said. And it says here, Columbus, Cincinnati, and others sue Ohio legislature for the right to ban flavored tobacco. So the governor of Ohio did not want each city having their own rules, and wanted statewide rules, and doesn't want keeps preventing these stupid locals from creating their own prohibitionary laws.
Well, they don't care about your constitutional rights. They care more about their city constitutional rights. So the liberty of the individual is going to be superseded by the asinine ability for these fuckers to tie it up in court, to fuck around, to take the liberties of the individual citizens away at their discretion. So fuck them. So that's how that went.
Are you
no?
Are you angry, Kevin?
Not. I don't like the idea that an entity can take the Constitution and fuck with it, and the rights and liberties of the citizens of the United States in any form, unless it's legislation and it's properly voted and all that other bullshit. And I don't like that either all the time, but I can't help it at that point. They're just taking it upon themselves. They can kiss my ass.
So then this one from Greggy.
Oh, Greggy. It's just You can't help it.
Nicotine e-cigarettes considerations for healthcare providers. I am absolutely not reading this whole thing, Kevin.
No, don't. No.
Sum it up.
Sum it up. The FDA released something, and then this is what they released, this paper, and it's as strained as they seem. It almost sort of seems like they want people to vape the 23 products that are available, probably hard to find, but available. And they don't really want anybody else to know it because they didn't send out their mystery machine stenographers to report this nationwide, which is part of the next tweet I'm assuming that you're going to show. So nobody knows it anyway. But this is the Brian King and some other guy from somewhere wrote this paper to adjust, if you will, the FDA's stance on using vaping product. That's the gist, generally.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is Joe Gitchell. It's yet another person that Kevin fillets all the time on Twitter.
No, I love to hate him and I hate to love him. Joe and I have spoken. I do like Joe. I do. He makes me think. And he will embarrass me publicly. He doesn't fuck around. I like that. So Joe, who sometimes I just shake my head at him and ignore him, and sometimes I got to bite him. It doesn't matter. He was curious, and he set this poll up to find out if anybody was expecting what I just said was the mainstream news coverage of FDA's tobacco continuum bullshit story, because they really don't care. They've put themselves now in a position that we said 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years ago that you're going to admit this eventually. You're going to embarrass yourselves. We have your receipts. We don't give a fuck, and you're going to do it. Well, now they've sort of done it. Joe thinks, for fuck's sake, that everybody's going to say, well, yeah, we're all going to. I looked the day he did this, and I looked at today, and I tweeted both times at him. There was 8 on the first one on the search on Twitter. You could do it now if you click the FDA Gov link, and then you put that in your search bar on Twitter. And who's going to show up? There's one guy that's Perone from AP, and everybody else is friend. There's no foe. There's not one motherfucker from one public health group at all. Now, it could have changed tonight, but nobody wants to know because nobody cares. They don't want you to know what the FDA is going through. They don't give a shit. Is that what you're doing?
What?
Are you searching that? You don't have to. You can.
No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I already have links.
Yeah. So did I share this one or did you share this one? I don't remember.
What?
It's all part of it.
No, everything from here on is just rabbit hole that I fell down when I opened your tweet. So this is a press release. The CTP director co-authors new journal commentary on the relative risks of tobacco products. CTP also launches new website to educate adults who smoke on the relative risks of tobacco products. And then it's just yada, yada, yada. So then I'm getting rid of Joe and Greg, closing some windows here. And then all of these links are in the show notes. So here is the actual website on the FDA's website. Actually, this is the relative risks of tobacco products on this. What is meant by relative risks? Are e-cigarettes a lower risk alternative to cigarettes? What options are available to adults who smoke cigarettes and blah, blah, blah? Why is it important for adults? Here, Kevin, I'm just going to go right here. So are e-cigarettes a lower risk alternative to cigarettes? While e-cigarettes can generally be a lower risk alternative for adults who smoke cigarettes, the use of e-cigarettes is not risk-free. So, Kevin,
what?
Their website, just right here.
Yeah.
Just the first sentence with the comma. It's a run-on sentence, but this one sentence just essentially says that every vaping product qualifies for a modified risk tobacco application approval.
That's correct. Oh, we could break this down into
right here.
Yes,
they are generally a lower risk alternative.
Yes,
and they're not risk free. So that's a modified risk tobacco product statement.
That's correct.
These products deliver harmful chemicals and contain nicotine, which is highly addictive. Moreover, given the harmful chemicals found in cigarettes, so now they're couching. So they spent the next two sentences
right
couching the positivity of the first sentence.
Well, we don't want you to get your hopes up too fucking much. So I don't know how good you're.
For adults who smoke, switching completely from cigarettes to e-cigarettes may reduce exposure to many harmful chemicals present in regular cigarettes. So again, that is a modified risk tobacco product statement.
Yeah. Now the very next sentence, Mr. Wright, forget the however. Just put, it is important that they switch completely from cigarettes to e-cigarettes to get the full health benefit. Now, remember that sentence highlighted if you like, and then we'll move down. I don't know, a paragraph and a half to stop. For adults who smoke, who choose cigarettes, it's important that they switch completely from cigarettes to e-cigarettes to get the full health benefit. Now, didn't I just read that above?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that there twice?
Because it's under a different question.
Isn't that strange? They've said it twice. They've said a lot of things, but it's all buried down beneath the bullshit.
Yeah, so they're admitting that there is a full health benefit to people switching from combustible cigarettes, to e-cigarettes. So right here on their own website, they're providing ammunition. So. Kevin, I've seen multiple people who apparently are not, or who think that they're smarter than me.
Me included. Yes. Go
on Twitter and in the vaping media.
Yeah.
Writing articles stating that it is a foregone conclusion that the Supreme Court will probably pick up this case.
Yeah.
That was just recently released where the FDA got smashed for arbitrary and capricious decisions.
Yeah.
I do not have that confidence based on the history of this court picking up cases on this topic. I do not believe that. I think that people are being overly positive. And if you follow a certain vaping attorney who has been also circulating around and at least one other vape show on the internet that should know better, but apparently doesn't. That giving this guy any sort of platform is dangerous and irresponsible. Anyway, he's just looking for money. He's looking for he wants somebody to pay him to be a part of something. That's the only way he ever got any fame was attaching himself to better attorneys' work and writing an amicus brief. He never argued any of the cases that he takes credit for. So, anywho, I do not believe that the Supreme Court will pick up this case. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't believe so. Because if you look at the case history and the things that they are interested in picking up, this is a tiny little itty bitty thing compared to the big, huge things that they have chosen to pick up that are
brewing
constitutionally important.
Well, I like you. I had hope for Joe. I thought he was off his rocker. I didn't say that specifically, but like with you, you don't see hope, and I didn't see hope in this. And I thought this would be the chance for the alphabet groups and the soup groups and the stupidity groups and the public health groups and the PAVE groups to go, geez, if FDA says that, we probably should at least adjust our statements.
Why would you think that, Kevin? I know that you're not that. I know that you're not that simple-minded. I know that
it's the drugs, it's the nicotine.
I absolutely know that you're not. So you're asking a combined group of organizations that collect billions, billions of dollars to wage a nonsensical battle against nicotine.
Well,
to suddenly decide to make a decision that's going to cost them billions of dollars.
Well, if it was all about health, that's what would happen.
You know better.
I felt bad for Joe because he had a little glimmer in his eye. I just thought, well, Jesus Christ, I'd hate to break his bubble, but we're up to 10. When it says brain worm, it went viral, if you will. And when it says adults can quit smoking and healthier, and nobody fucking cares, not one, except AP's Matthew Perrone, who's anti-bullshit anyway. Whatever. So poor Joe. Everybody followed Joe, if nothing else, out of pity.
But you know better.
I love Joe.
You know better, Kevin.
Of course I know better. Oh my God.
You're not.
You really think I believe that, right?
You're not an idiot. I know that you're not an idiot.
There's that soundbite I've been looking for a long, long time.
I will clip it and send it to you. You are not an idiot, Kevin.
I will clip it and send it to you. No, I just know you said it, so it doesn't matter.
You absolutely know that was not going to do anything, and those organizations that you named are not willing to throw money away.
No. Now let's say, and I don't know where I stole this from. I think it was the AVM, an AVM tweet, something like that. Somebody, could have been Allison. I don't know. The reporters are actually stenographers. They're told what to say, and then they go say it, and they go type it down, and they go, okay, what did Brian King say to say? Well, that's what we'll do. No reporters have done that either, except for the one. That's it. And it's half-assed reporting, if you want to call it reporting. Stenographer. That's what they are.
All right, Kev.
What?
We're gonna move quickly to refresh our coffees, and we're gonna be at the Rumble in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go get some drink myself. Come back and end the streams everywhere except for Rumble. We're gonna go to Rumble now and talk about government wanting to control how fast you drive. The FISA thing that we talked about last week, they're having trouble getting enough votes to pass it. So there's some stuff. AI and Elon Musk talking about free speech. So we'll see you in a few minutes.
See you.
If you don't meet us over there, I'll meet. For those of you that are not following us on Rumble yet,
We love you. We love you.
I will slap the link to Rumble in the YouTube chats. But really, you need to go ahead and just start following us over there. But here, you paste it in there. Blink. Well, let's play this JFK reading parts of the Declaration.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.